What is good to people of Atlanta? We are back with another episode, and we have, I usually say special guests, but I don't know. This is a little bit different.
I am special. What you mean?
I don't know, bro.
I'm exclusive.
You said some very bad things about my people, all right?
I did not say any bad things. I did not say anything that was untrue.
About Geminis?
Yes.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, my name is Shay, also known as LacedBySha on YouTube, and sha.morris on Instagram.
How did you get that name?
LacedBySha?
Mm-hmm.
I used to do hair.
Okay.
So, like, you lace these hoes up with new hairdos. So,
Okay.
And then my name is Shay.
What made you stop doing hair?
I don't like people.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like customers.
What?
Because they, like, people be really inconsiderate of your time, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did hair and I did makeup, and it's just kind of like, people that be like, oh, well, you know, I want to have an appointment at 2, but they don't get there till close to 3, and I cancel their appointment and charge their card, and then they just like, they don't understand.
Yeah, I agree, because I actually didn't start doing YouTube. I started photography. So people would book like an hour, but they'll show up like an hour and a half late. Then they would shoot for like 2.5 hours. So I didn't like it. So
Yeah, I don't like it.
I like to be on my own time schedule.
Me too. I don't like having to wait on nobody, and especially like, it's my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have been doing other things. I could have had another appointment. I could have been doing something else.
Exactly.
Causing ruckus somewhere else.
I'm the same. But what are you into these days?
YouTube, obviously. Content creation. I take a lot of naps. I can't even talk. I'm in the naps. And I'm also a graduate student. I think I ever said that to you. Yeah, I'm a graduate student.
Where do you go?
Liberty University. I'm almost done. So my slavery is almost over.
Well, what are you there for?
Counseling.
Oh, that's going to be nice. Is that the field you want to go into, or do you want to blow up on YouTube?
I mean, I like counseling. I feel like there's like this is like more of my counseling aspect, but I feel like there's multiple layers to people, right? So I wouldn't mind either way. Yeah. But the way as far as like content is going and like my YouTube stuff, like that's going pretty well. So I wouldn't mind doing YouTube full time, but I won't say just YouTube, but like content in general. But I don't pay all this money for school. I at least need to try it out for a year or something. At least need to try it.
Yeah. I went to school and I never used my degree. I graduated. I've never used it.
What did you go to school for?
Marketing.
It's YouTube, so it's kind of like digital marketing.
I mean, you make dating advocacy videos, so that's kind of counseling too, right?
Yeah, I'll be letting people know that it's tough out here.
So how did you? So before, we got to start. Okay, so define dating for me.
Dating, I think dating because when I think of like actual the whole concept of dating is multiple levels to it, right? So you have like casual dating where you're just kind of like, you know, meeting people and you're just kind of see if that works out for you. If it doesn't, then you move on to something else, right? And then you have like exclusive dating where it's just kind of like we're still kind of like getting to know each other, but we want to focus on each other rather than more casual, just kind of like doing whatever. And then like a full-blown relationship is like, all right, so this is it, like now we together. Okay,
so in your video you said that you will be dating somebody and I need you to date me too. What stage is that in?
That's when we both decide that we're exclusively like wanting to date each other, and that's it. So like, because if we're gonna be, if you say, oh yeah, I want to date you, I want to take things a little bit more serious, and then you just still like casually dating, then that means one of us single and one of us is more in a committed situation, exclusive situation.
But y'all both are single, right?
I mean, yeah, when it comes, like, I don't really mean to say single, but more of an exclusive situation, because you can still be like, I guess in this age, you can still be single and still like be exclusively dating somebody. But it's just like, we need to be on the same page, because if we're not on the same page, then I'm gonna leave.
If y'all are exclusively dating each other, why aren't y'all just getting a relationship?
That's a great question. Let me explain. So when I say exclusively dating, I mean like when you go out. Okay, so when you go out with that person and you guys are kind of like courting. I guess it would be the perfect term for that.
Yeah.
It's like you guys are courting. You're courting this girl, and it's just like you need to know like the more in-depth parts of her personality. Because sometimes if you jump directly into a relationship without knowing those parts of that personality, then you're like, this bitch is crazy.
Yeah.
Or this man is crazy. So that's why you don't just jump straight into a relationship when you're courting someone, because you still need to get to know them. Like, you need to get to know their family before you be like, oh yeah, I'm in a full-blown relationship. Because if you don't get to know these people's family, if these people's family don't know you, then you don't exist.
If you're not my girlfriend, you're not meeting my family, bro.
Even if you are like exclusive with somebody?
Probably not.
Why is that?
Well, I'm a different person, right? So like I'm the worst person to ask because I've been in like 2 relationships that were like 5 to 6 years long each. So like I've spent my whole adult life in a relationship.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So you don't even know how to date for real?
Yeah, nah. I know
crazy.
Yeah, I know how to have friends, but I know how I went about dating when I was in school, though.
You know how long ago you was in school?
Yeah,
that's a long time ago. Dating's different now.
No, it's the same. I think there's different ways people go about dating. I think they're all wrong, though.
I mean, I can completely agree with that too, because it's just kind of like, I don't know. I have a whole nother theory on that, but we're going to get to that in a second.
No, what's your theory? Go ahead.
I feel like that this goes back to the idea of like childhood development, right? Mm-hmm. Because you got to think, like, I was born in 1992, so I grew up in the 90s,
Damn,
right?
You old. I'm just kidding. I was born in 94.
Anyways, I was born in 92, so... Like, you say I'm old. Like,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm
joking.
As I was saying before, young thing, young spicy thing.
Robbing the cradle over here. All right.
Anyways, so I was born in 1992. So I feel like that growing up in the 90s, it's a little bit different as far as like the way people were brought up. Because if you think back, like social economical, a lot of kids in the 90s grew up without their dad. Right, because you got to think like in the 80s or early 90s, late 80s, you got the violence on black men. Basically, black men going to jail for literally anything. Mm-hmm. Right, so they make these children and then with that, they grow up without fathers. Yeah, most times, and then when they grow up without a father, then that means that it's the idea of that women will like they tell their sons like, oh, you're the man of the house now. Yeah, right. So they're being taught to be emasculated from a very young age. And that in itself becomes an issue when they're growing up, because you got to think your childhood traumas also affects your adult dating life. Yeah. So you're dealing with men who never had a chance to be a boy. Mm-hmm. They never had a chance to be a kid. Those had to be responsible for something, especially those who basically grew up in a house with just their mom. Yeah. And you also got these women who also have these male children and treat them like they're their... I don't want to say treat them like their boyfriend, because that may sound a little weird.
But like, that's my king.
Yeah, like, oh, that's my king. Like, catering to these men and then not allowing them to fully be able to, like, be themselves, grow out how to be themselves and learn how to take care of themselves without taking care of another person or watching out for another person. I'm all for somebody being a mama's boy. Mm-hmm. That's cool, but y'all a little too close. Like what's Think Like a Man? Yeah, that movie where Terrence, whatever his last name is, the light skin. Yeah, how he was with his mama. Is that your mama? Or is that your girlfriend?
Yeah, I don't remember. I watched the movie like once or twice, but I don't remember. But like
it's like those super, super mama's boys.
Yeah,
like
do everything their
mama will be like, look, I know you with your girlfriend right now, but I need you to come put gas in my car. And they be like, I'm coming right now.
All right, look, if my mom called me to come tell me to bring her gas, my mom's not going to call me unless she needs me.
But that's not how everybody else is.
Yeah, so.
Like, someone who just wants to completely interfere with your relationship. And that's how some people are. But then you also got on the other side where these men, their fathers were gone their whole entire lives, and now they have abandonment issues. They have daddy issues. Yeah. Because men love to say, oh, I can't date no woman with daddy issues.
I mean, dudes have daddy issues too.
Yeah, a lot of men have daddy issues, but it's seen as like, oh, he a player, blase, blase, and not really like you need therapy.
Yeah. So do you think it would be better to make videos saying about the structure of the family rather than blame the byproduct of what comes out of that?
I mean, yeah, that'd be very informational to put in the videos, but who's gonna watch the video saying, "Oh yeah, you got daddy issues, you need therapy"? You know how my comments will look.
I mean,
do you really understand?
You gotta stand on the truth, though, right?
I stand on the truth, and the thing is, like, yeah, I understand that, but also, I'm dating grown men,
yeah.
Right? So you are responsible for your own healing.
Okay, so look, I think people are products of their environment, right?
I do agree.
And once you get to a certain age, some people, and I don't like that people place this burden on people. Like, I feel like I'm an extraordinary person. I feel like I've learned things, and that was my issue at first, is I was extraordinary and people around me were ordinary, and there's no problem with that.
Who told you you was extraordinary?
Listen, I'm an extraordinary person, bro. So.
I'm not
like,
saying that you aren't.
I'm
just asking who said that.
I think my ability to thoroughly think through certain processes in life or certain situations makes me extraordinary. I thought everybody was able to think like that, though.
No, absolutely not.
And it's not the case. So instead of blaming them, but no, they're not idiots. They're regular. That's how the human brain naturally functions. All people worry about is survival. That's where we came from. Only survival, right? So now, as we try to move the world in a place where we have functional societies, right? Because before it was your family and kill everything around you. We were in the woods. That's what we were doing. And eventually, somebody, like, as the intelligence in humans started to develop, we started to create societies. Yeah. Now, there are some people who still have those innate traits that we haven't evolved all the way to being able to live in a utopia.
Okay,
right?
So what are these traits that you like would say?
Being egocentric, right? Most people can only see the world through their perspective. We weren't trained to know how to filter through the internet's worth of information.
I agree.
So when people say, like, how do you believe this? Well, depending on what you've been exposed to in your life, you could 100% understand, okay, I see why you would think that. I see why this would be your perspective based on, because you got to think, right? If you take every person who don't like black people isn't racist, right?
Some people just never been around black people.
Exactly.
It's not that they don't like black people. It's just they're not used to black people.
Exactly. So if I grow up in a city where I've never seen black people, but I cut on my TV and I listen to BET music, the music videos, and I'm hearing people talking about killing people for their friend because you killed my friend, right? And then I turn on the movies and I see drug dealing, and even though these people are depicting real things that go on in their community, that's all I have to go off of.
I mean, that's how media is.
Yeah, so I can develop a thought process that's not actually true to what the environment is.
It's just linear of what the information that you're feeding in is literally just goes along with that same concept. I understand that aspect, yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that's like something that once people can understand it, we won't be so judgmental towards each other, and then we can start working on like taking the steps to make everything function a little bit better.
I completely understand that. But some people are stupid. It doesn't matter how much you pour into them, how much you teach them, how much they're willing to learn. Mm-hmm. They're just stupid.
I mean, everybody has a way to get to them, though. Yeah, everybody.
But it's just like some things. Have you ever looked at something and be like, how the hell did you how did that thought come into your mind to even make you think that this was possible?
Well, yeah, I went through COVID. I logged on Twitter during COVID, and I seen how much people didn't understand science. So, yeah, I 100% agree.
Like, people who, let me tell you, someone was arguing online about how they don't cough in their mask because it makes it dirty.
I mean, technically, they're right, right?
Technically, they're right. So instead of coughing in their mask, they take it off. This was in the height of COVID, to sneeze and to cough, and then to put it back on.
I mean, they should take it off, sneeze into their arm.
No, that's not
and
what
then
happened.
put it back up.
That's not what happened.
Yeah, sure.
The whole video where I'm looking, I was just like, she's like, why would I sneeze into my mask? And then she sneezed into her hand.
Yeah, that's bad too.
So she was like, achoo, and then
puts it back on. So what would you do? Sneeze in your mask?
Yes. I would sneeze in my mask. Usually I have like extra mask with me. So if I sneeze in my mask, I usually change it.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
I just feel like that the whole Corona thing just kind of made me really realize how the cleanliness of people.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you gotta tell someone they have to wash their hands, like,
yeah,
there should be a problem.
True. Some people just come from different walks of life.
Yeah, that I understand that, but you really understand. Like, I worked from home for 2 years, right?
Okay. During COVID?
Yeah, during COVID. And then I recently got a position where I work in the office. And now I'm just like, yeah, I can't be in here anymore because
really,
I don't use the bathroom when I'm at work because, for one, I don't like public bathrooms.
Yeah.
2, this lady used the bathroom and walked out without washing her hands.
Yeah. I used to hear people like
it's disgusting,
at my old job, like they would go like take a shit and like,
oh my God,
sit there bare bottom on the public restroom. And like it's not like I seen it, but like I know you just walked in here. There's no way you could have put nothing, no type of, you know what I'm saying?
Ew.
Barrier. You walked in here, zip, drop, sit. That's all you had time to do when you walked in that stall.
And that's just the thing. Like, people don't really understand hygiene and like don't understand anything when it comes to hygiene. And that's one of my biggest things. And I think that going back to the being raised, like you said, like survival. All right, cool. I understand that, and I agree with that too. Right. So when it comes to like dating, I don't date women, so I don't know the experience. Don't know. I don't know if y'all have an equally worse experience. Not exactly sure, but I went on a date with this man, and he went to the bathroom, and he came back.
And his hands were dry.
His hands were as dry as a bone.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's wild. Like,
what would you say?
I think I left.
Really?
But it was like the end of the date. I think I just left.
Yeah.
And I got in my car. So let me walk you to your car. I'm like, oh, no, it's good. It's right here. I don't want you touching anything, sir. I don't know. You just in there handling your man junk. Yeah. And then just touching stuff. That's nasty.
True. You know what I'm saying?
That's nasty.
But some people would have left that date, right? Let me just give you a hypothetical. Some people would have left that date. Maybe not their first date, not their second date, but the same weenie this man walked into the bathroom that you're like, oh, you got to wash your hands. Some people will leave that date and put it in their mouth. So with that being, like, that's why some people just have a certain level
of cleanliness
of things that they're willing to accept in life. I can't blame them for, if you want to be
it's just not me.
Yeah,
it could be for them, and that's them personally. It could be for them, but just for me personally, no.
Yeah.
No.
I feel it.
Like, I don't, like, when I leave clubs, like, I don't ever go into bed, get in my bed without showering. Like,
I'll wash my sheets the next day if I'm too tired.
No, I'm not getting in that. I don't care how drunk I am. I remember in college, right? I remember I don't remember a whole lot, but I remember I left my house. I left the club or whatever, and then I got back to my apartment, and like in my bedroom at that time, I had like a sofa. It was kind of like probably like this size, like a little love seat or whatever. I laid on a sofa, and I was like, "Dang, I really want to get into bed." So I got my drunk ass, like barely about blacked out ass, up. Got in the shower. I don't remember getting in the shower, but I know I got in the shower because I didn't have any makeup on. I didn't.
When you woke up?
And I woke up, I didn't have any makeup on, and I was in night clothes, and the clothes I wore before were inside the bathtub.
Oh wow.
But they weren't wet though, so I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I just kind of like
Took a shower, then threw them in there.
yeah, took a shower and just threw them in there because my hamper was like right beside the bathtub. So I'm assuming that I just
Missed.
yeah, when I try to pick them up off the floor, I missed. But I've always been a very clean person, so I feel like the person that like I'm like dating, like or like I'm with, they need to be clean.
Do you have brothers?
Yeah, I have brothers.
Okay.
I have a lot of them,
Okay.
and
Somebody always told me, like, I dated one girl who was a single child, or only, she wasn't technically an only child, but she was raised as an only child.
Yeah.
Like her sister was so much older than her and was kind of gone.
dating
Like,
only children is pretty wild.
what do you mean?
They don't know how to share.
Yeah, that's first. Second, she didn't have no brothers. So she was actually pretty clean. I will say, I think I can't say that, nah. But everybody I dated has been past the hygiene threshold. I'll say that.
I hope so because you dating them.
Oh yeah, for sure. But what women told me is date a girl who has brothers because she'll understand interacting with men more than like girls who don't have brothers.
Yeah, I can understand that because like I have. Well, growing up, I lived with my aunt, so it's like I basically like, she's like my mom.
Yeah.
Right. So then she had 2 boys, and then I had another cousin that lived with us. Right. Mm-hmm. So it was me and 3 boys growing up in the house. When I tell you, like, at least one of them, no, good 2 of them are just filthy.
Yeah.
Like they're not filthy now because. One is married, the other one has a girlfriend and kids, and the other one, he's still filthy.
Yeah.
He's just like...
Some people are just, they're okay with their mess. Like, I'm a person like...
Well, hold on, let me clarify when I say filthy. I'm very clean. He's just not as clean as me. Like, he will pick up something and just leave it there for days. Mm-hmm. Like, and just walk past it like you ain't see it.
Yeah. That's my mom talk. I think what my mom did to me was a curse. All right. I turned out to be a very good dude, but like it's impossible
for like 6 years.
Yeah.
At a time.
But it's like impossible for me to like deal with other people. Cause like my threshold of like what you need to do is just so far past everybody else's. Like when it comes to cleaning, for sure. Like I'm a person. My mom was like, look, if any part of your house is going to be dirty, it's going to be your room. And your room better not be dirty for long type thing. So you can always tell how, like, I'm feeling emotionally if you look in my room. Because, like, when I'm going through it, my room be trash. But as soon as I get out that hump, like, my room is clean,
I mean, that's natural.
Yeah, I think so. And, but then, because I didn't go to college. Well, I went to college, but I went to, like, a community college. So I didn't stay in dorms. I had no roommates. But then I moved. And then I was like...
So are you from Georgia?
Yeah, I'm from here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you from, like, Atlanta or, like...
It depends on who you ask.
I mean, if you ask Amaretta, you probably won't be from
Yeah,
Atlanta.
I'm not from Amaretta's Atlanta,
Oh, okay.
But from the Atlanta that everybody knows, I'm from Atlanta, for sure.
Oh, okay.
To somebody who's from Atlanta, I'm from Gwinnett, right? But the Migos are Atlanta rappers, okay? And they're from Gwinnett. So, like I said... If you
I was
ask,
gonna say they not from Atlanta though.
Yeah, they're from Gwinnett, but they were carrying the Atlanta torch. So
Metro Atlanta, but yeah. I don't think Gwinnett is really Metro Atlanta. But either way, it's neither here nor there.
I mean, parts of it are though, like because Gwinnett is big. It's
yeah,
like,
Gwinnett is big, but I'm talking about like I stay in the city, so
okay.
like I would say the good portion of Gwinnett. That's I don't even know the name. I don't know the parts. I don't know.
How long it took you to get here?
About 28 minutes, something
28?
like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I stay in the city. So it's just like there's parts of Gwinnett that is Metro Atlanta, but then like I want to classify like because I go this way to go to South Carolina. So like once you get to like where the woods at in Gwinnett,
yeah,
that's not Metro Atlanta.
Yeah. Once I think like Swanee and Down should be considered like Atlanta, in my opinion.
I can see Swanee, but not like all of Swanee though. But like a good portion of it, but not all of it.
Marley, Georgia is out there. All right, it's out there for us.
I've never been there.
For real? You never been to the Mall of Georgia?
No.
It's the biggest mall in the Southeast. Go there one day.
I have anxiety. I probably won't go.
You don't like being like out?
I have social anxiety.
Really?
If I get lost in like situations like that, it's over for me. It's a tragic loss for me.
Really? That's crazy. I got a question. So you made a video called 6 Red Flags Men something, whatever. You know what I'm saying? What are your biggest red flags? Not that you see in other people, yours.
Mine? For me, I tend to be very particular. Like, I don't do well in awkward social situations.
Like what?
Like, I don't know. Like, they just come up. It's just like random things. That
what was an example you could remember?
Come up. Like for example, I was talking to somebody and they said something that kind of like, I'm gonna say I don't agree with, but I just didn't know what to say, so I just stopped talking.
Like,
not say I stopped talking, like I stopped talking
altogether. That's unfortunate.
I don't remember exactly what the situation was. I think someone was telling me something and I didn't really agree with it. So instead of saying something like, yeah, that's dumb, I just stopped talking. I just shut the fuck up.
That's crazy.
And that's like wild as fuck.
Some dudes would love that though.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But just imagine you're telling me like, you know what? Like, how, you know what? I'm having a terrible day. Da happened. I did this, that, and the third, but I know I shouldn't did that. You'll be like, well, like say if I slapped the fuck out of somebody because they hollered at me and now I'm without a job.
Yeah.
You've been like, well, you probably shouldn't have fucking did that.
Yeah.
But instead of me saying you probably shouldn't have fucking did that, I just shut the fuck up. Yeah. And I was just quiet.
But
like
see,
a mouse.
I think it's the way people talk to each other, right?
And people, they wanted me to say something. And I was just like, I don't know anything to say that's going to be helpful in this situation.
The greatest question you could ever ask is a question that I think the black community need to let their kids ask more of is why.
Oh, yeah. I love a why-ass kid. I'm not even going to lie. Like, because I work with kids. Like, counseling is just, I work with kids. So, like, I'll explain to you until I ain't got no explanations. And then once I run out of explanations and they keep saying why, well, I don't know. Let's Google it. Let's find out.
But see, the same growth for that kid that you're instilling in him, you could instill in other people, right? So, or that person could. So a lot of times understanding people, you have to see why, because you have to see why they do the things they do, because a lot of people do things that may be similar for totally different reasons. So if he said like, hey, I did this and now I'm without a job, like, what made you want to do that? Like, what was your plan? Some people just don't think that far, right?
Yeah, and some people just get like defensive about the situation, but it's like certain other things. Like people would be like a man would be confessing his heart to me, and I'm just mute because what the fuck am I supposed to say to that? Like, you know, I miss you, I love you, like we need to make this work, and I'm like, no. And
how often does that happen?
I mean, it happens enough for me just to be like,
yeah.
Are you done talking now? Because I want to leave.
Damn. Have you ever been in love?
Yeah, I have.
So, like, do you think, like, these dudes are, like, confessing their love too soon? Or do you, like, what do you think it is?
It's always confessing after something has happened to make me want to leave.
Ah, okay.
Because if you loved me in the first place, you would not have done... And I don't love these men that are saying these things to me. Yeah. Because
were y'all exclusively dating or were y'all in a relationship?
We were in a relationship, and then they were just like did something like off the wall, and I just be like, I don't care. I just want you to finish so I can leave.
I can agree with that.
So it's just like I don't know, like, and I feel like also like another red flag for like that I think I have is that I'm gonna leave if I don't feel like if I have to express too many times that something is going on, like, hey, I don't feel like that you appreciate me, blah, blah, blah. One day, I'm gonna fucking leave because why do I have to keep saying the same thing? When I say leave, I mean like without a peep. I'm just gone.
I
and you're
agree
blocked.
to a point, but like if you're like in a relationship, I think there's some old explanation. And the only reason I say owed, a lot of people will say you don't owe anybody anything. But when you enter into a partnership, right, and you're willing to dissolve a partnership, whether that's business, relationship, friendship, nonprofit, you should at least have you had enough belief in this person to enter in a partnership with them. You should at least have enough courtesy to say like, hey, look, this is what happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm not willing to go back. I'm just letting you know. But this is what led me to make this decision. And now we can go on about our time.
Yeah, I can understand that. But I guess the point what I'm saying is just that I continue to be like, oh, yeah, this is not working for me. That's not working for me. And you know, it's not like it's like ridiculous things. Like people like, oh, yeah, you keep the house too cold. Now I'm leaving. It's more of like, I want to, like, I'm a person who needs quality time. Like, that's one of my love languages. Like, I thrive off of, like, yeah, we could talk on the phone, stuff like that. But, like, I like FaceTime. I like hanging out together. We may not even have to do anything. You know what I'm saying? We could just be in the house watching a movie. But in order for you to be, like, I know you're off. I know you don't have anything planned. And it's been, like, you know, it's been a while. And you're just like, oh, yeah, I don't feel like driving over there. I'm like, well, I'll come to you. Oh, well, I don't feel like having company. Well,
that's crazy.
I understand that, and I can get that, but it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah. See, I
it's
like
the same thing over and over again.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I think people don't be knowing each other when they get into relationships.
Yeah.
That's one. Two, like, people need to set like permanent because there's no way. The most I've ever not talking or not. I've not seen somebody for, I don't even think 2 weeks. I think the most is like the most I've never not talked to somebody. It had to be
get it out.
Less than 72 hours. And I was on some like, I'm a person, my red flag is like, once you push me across that line, you gonna have to give me time. Just let me go to sleep. Stop talking to me. Like, I'm gonna work it out because I like to get to the conclusion because if you're my partner, I want this to work. We're gonna resolve this. But right now, I'm not the person who you could sit and argue with and then we key like 20 minutes later. That's not me. You gonna have to give me a day. And then even the day after that, I may be a little bit like, gotta guard up a little bit. And eventually it'll go away. We could talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But you're like the third or fourth girl who came on here and said like, yeah, I've dated dudes who, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't see me for 2 weeks. That's crazy.
That shit's wild, right? And then it's just like, and it's not like I live with people. You know what I'm saying? I live alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a cat, but like, besides that, like, and we could be at the house chilling. We could be in this just butterballed ass naked in here, just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not like you're coming over here and you got to interact with other people, because I hate when I have to like try to convince someone to do something.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I have to convince you to do something, then that means you ain't want to fucking do it in the first place.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave you the fuck be, and I'm not gonna continue to ask you, and I'm gonna leave you alone.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just that. Like, I don't feel like in relationships, like, I honestly don't feel like relationships are like 50-50, 100-100. Sometimes you're going to give 80%, and the person only has 20% to give. There may be a day where they're just having a really terrible, shitty day, where the only thing they can offer is 20%.
Yeah, day by day, it's not going to always be equal.
Yeah,
but
so it's just like, because I saw this video, like, TikTok really be on it with, like, well, I guess my content could just be liking stuff. And there was this video, and there was just like, there's some days that you like me more than I like you. And there's some days it's the opposite. Yeah. So it may be one day, like, say, like, we are dating, right? You may just get on my motherfucking nerves.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And I'd be like, Hala, please get the fuck away from me. Please don't ever breathe in my direction for the next 42 hours. And you'll be like,
you would never survive in a relationship with me.
But
if you say that, I'm gonna troll you. I'm gonna troll you.
but you get what I'm saying though, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure.
There are gonna be days where it's just kind of like, I don't want to be bothered, right? And I'm not gonna like you as much as I usually like you, but you may like me more, Or some days we may both only be able to give 80%.
Yeah.
You kind of like me, I kind of like you,
Mm-hmm.
and we just chilling. But it may be some days it's 100, 100.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not. I think this whole perception of how some people view relationships is that like, oh, I always got to be talking to you, I always got to be at your house, I always got to be up under you.
Yeah.
I think that shit is wild.
Yeah, I'm a very the last person I dated told me I'm a very scheduled person. I do spontaneous things, but spontaneous is within the boundaries of something I already planned, right? So like I could be spontaneous if I say like we're hanging out this weekend. Mm-hmm. The weekend is planned. I'm gonna be with you, but what we can do that weekend can be spontaneous. I just have too much like stuff. Like, I literally can be working at every minute of the day. Like,
you could.
So
I feel like you do work a lot.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of balance there.
But that's what people get. I have a lot of balance. The thing about being because I have no like job. Like, well, this is my job. But
I'm about to say,
I have no. I'm my own boss, right? True. So I can work for 2 hours and I can take a 45-minute break. I can work for 15 more minutes, take another 30-minute break. So it's a lot of balance. You look at it from the outside looking in. And what happened was I was dating somebody who had that structure in their life, like a actual job, actual school. And usually when people go through that, they look at their free time as us time. But my free time doesn't line up the same way yours does.
No, I understand that.
So that kind of became an issue. But, like, and if I'm going to cut time out for somebody, you got my like patience is like this now.
I can't see that.
What you mean?
You just had your hand the opposite way.
Oh, like
my
this?
Face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
my patience is very thin. Like, so,
why is that?
Well, because I feel like, I think that I'm a good guy, right? And I understand the amount of effort that I deserve, right? And I feel like a lot of people are used to giving effort to people who deserve way less, right? And through like either their scars from those relationships or some type of timidness, they feel like, I don't really know. So if you don't know this is where you like want to try to be, I'm not going to convince you. Like, because I feel like the people who, when I see somebody, no matter what she does, if I see, listen, this person could be a quality person, is nothing that is going to put a wall up to make me not want. But that's how I am about my like business, my friendships, my relationships. That's how I am. So like, I been in two relationships where that reciprocation led to that non-reciprocation of I don't really know sometimes led to the deterioration of those relationships.
So was that person also like an entrepreneur, or they had like a regular?
Well, the first one was I dated her when I was 15 to 21.
That's a long time to date somebody. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah, I mean it didn't feel long to me. It felt like a year in my head. It didn't even feel that long. Like it was fun, through it. But
you were kids.
Yeah. Then I dated somebody from 21 to 27. Yeah.
So why did you go back and date someone within that short period of time after being with someone for 6 years? Why did you go right back into a relationship?
It wasn't right back. It was like like 8 months between them.
That's still a very short period of time.
You think so?
When you think of growing with someone for 6 years, mm-hmm. and then creating your own life 8 months, because from 15 to 21, you're literally children.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you break up, there's no time to cultivate the type of life, type of person that you are. Of course, when you were dating this person, you cultivated a life with them, mm-hmm. but you wasn't able to cultivate a life alone.
But I think I've always cultivated my alone life even in relationships.
I mean, I understand that. I can understand that concept. But what I'm just saying is just the fact that there was never a time when you only had to worry about yourself. And not how the other person would feel.
True,
about
but
things that you did.
And this is a factor that I never really took into account. Like my at-home family dynamic, the situations that are present in my nuclear family, there were reasons where I was never able to focus on. Since I've been born, I've never been able to, or since I've been a functional child, I've never been able to focus on just myself. So I've always learned how to grow my personal self while being able to focus on somebody else.
So with that being said, like, how does it feel now that you are single? And now you only have to do is worry about yourself.
I don't. I still have my nuclear family that I have to worry about. Okay, but it's a lot more.
I'm saying, like, worry about yourself as far as worry about your own personal survival.
Feels the same.
Because I feel like in relationships, I mean, I guess for women it's a little different, because in relationship with women, it's kind of like women tend to take on, I guess, emotional burdens when it comes in relationships. I'm not saying that men don't.
Yeah.
But because women are more nurturing in some aspects, they tend to try to fix stuff. I don't try to fix stuff. I just listen.
Yeah.
Well, that's just something that I had to learn over time. Not everything is fixable.
Yeah.
Right? But women do tend to take that on. So I'm just saying, like, I've never been in a relationship for like 6 years. Can't call it.
And these weren't on and off relationships. It was like solid 6 years.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So like 6 years, and then like coming out of that, you grow it like a new person, like a different person. Like you grow a different level or version of yourself that you have to learn, because now, whether it been something that was mutual or whatever, it's still like that person that you were attached to is now gone. Yeah. So it's different. And that's why I think that sometimes men have an easier experience when it comes to dating, especially in committed relationships, just because of the type of emotional comfortability women usually are. They usually just, okay, so this is it, this is me, this is this is us. Like, we're now one person. But I think it's important when in relationships that you still have to think as two people. Like, you can't think that, okay, I think it's like this. It's like, it's me, it's our relationship, and then it's you. Yeah. It's not like we fused into one person. Because that's not healthy.
I say, like, if you're in a relationship and you think you and this person are serious, the decisions that you make in your life should be with that person in mind, I think.
That's the relationship aspect, is you and that person in the relationship. So that relationship aspect, but there's girls. So one of the things girls are notorious for is getting in relationships and forgetting they had friends. Yeah. See, completely forgetting they had friends.
I'm not that person. Like, I want you, because I understand. I talked to a lot of adults when I was younger, and that may be why I grew up so fast. I didn't talk to my peers and go ask my friend at school relationship advice. Like, I went to functional, like, long-term relationships in my neighborhood. I'll be outside playing basketball. They'll be out cutting their grass. And sometimes I'll ask them, I'm a very inquisitive person. I'm going to ask, like, how did you know, like, this person was like the person you wanted to marry and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times people always told me, like, yeah, this person, we were friends, we were blah, blah, blah. She does her own thing. I learned through talking to multiple people and gauging it off of what I could see from their relationship. The ones that were more successful and the ones that seemed like both parties were happy tended to be a certain way. And I tried to cater my relationships to be that way. But
so that's why you were in half a decade long relationships.
Yeah. But
That's
there
10 years, bro.
12. But
12 years.
Yeah,
That's 12 years of your life that you spent in a relationship from a teenager.
Yeah.
Until your adulthood. That's like long.
It doesn't feel that long though. Like
it doesn't matter what it feels like.
Yeah.
In reality, that is a very, very long time. And now you're in your late 20s navigating dating.
But see, I never was a dater though. Like I was a person.
I'm in love with you now. Now, let's be together. That's what it sounds like.
No, I'm like a person who I don't talk to people with intent to like try to date them. Like if I think you're a cool person, we'll hang out for sure. And through that, like depending on like, cause some people, they'll still lie to you, you know what I'm saying? But I've
People
learned.
don't lie.
Yeah, for sure. But I am real friends with girls. That's one thing that a lot of dudes aren't.
Yeah,
I grew up in like I hung out with dudes, but they was always on some like let's fuck bitches type shit. I'm like, bro, it's more to life than that. I want to talk about other stuff. So that's why I hung out with girls most of the time. And in those circles, I learned that girls are very open when they have a comfort space. Right?
You gotta be comfortable.
Exactly. So there'll be times where I will be friends with people, they will be open. And I don't care about your past. If we're not a partnership, I don't care what you did before, what your minds. If I feel like you have a decent level of morals and all the other stuff, then everybody I dated, except for one person, we were friends for a long time before we got in a relationship, because that's the only way I'm gonna see the real you. If I slide in your DMs and say, "Hey Shay, you trying to go out on first DM ever? Yo, you fine? I'm trying to take you out tonight." When you go on that date, I'm getting your representative because you know I'm coming here to try to talk to you. Like, so if I do that, I'm never gonna know the real you until we get to a point in a relationship where you think there's no turning back. Then you'll show your real self. That's why people, when they move in together, they break up, or they have a baby, they break up, they get married. They could have been together for 10 years. The first year of marriage, they ready to get divorced. It's because people show you the real them after they feel like you're never going to leave them.
You want to know something?
Yes.
So I think I made a video, and during the video I said something about like I'm not about to be nobody's like baby mama, because I'm not having kids out of wedlock, because I'm not about to be a single parent.
Yeah.
Right? Shout out to all the single parents, actually, like y'all really doing that. But me personally, I don't think that I have the capabilities of doing that. People are like, oh, you don't know what you have to you. I don't want to have to find that out.
Yeah.
I don't want to find out. But somebody wrote in my comments, oh, you're a baby mama at best. Just because you hate your baby mama don't mean that I'm going to be a baby mama. I can't even fathom the idea.
I will say this. The small interactions that we have had, I could tell like what your content portrays isn't who you really are, right? Like you believe some of the stuff a little bit, but some of it's just for content.
Like I'm literally just telling us, like the thing is that people always say, oh, you know, you say this, you say that. But the thing is, I'm telling a story of what happened to me. Yeah. My experience from my point of view. And in that point of view, like, because I did a video when I was talking about, like, you know, things I tell my younger self, or just, I guess explaining about dating. That video that I was talking about, the 10 things or whatever, and Geminis and Leos was on it. So the thing is that at the very end of the video, so when you first watch the video, you're just like, she's just literally ragging on these people, like basketball players, artists, really ragging on these people. But then I get to the end of the video and I'm just like, you know, this is my experience. Like, this is what I had. Like, I don't want other girls to have to literally go through the idiotic shit that I decided was a good idea. And I got way more wild
we're gonna get
things
to that. We're gonna get to that.
So, but the thing is that I make these videos for people to see them and be like, oh yeah, that was wild.
I understand because I create content. So I know there's some shit. Bro, people think I'm like, if you were to look at me on the internet, you would think, yo, this nigga is fucking bitches every day. You would think that, like, because of the way I talk. But I be joking. I be real, and like, if I have somebody that I want to do that with, this is how I would be. But most of the time, I'm not. That's not my like goal in life. Isn't to who am I gonna fuck this weekend? That's not my goal.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the same thing. That was a conversation that had to be had between like a friend of mine. It's just like they had to explain to somebody like this is not me. Like people pay me to see this. Yeah. That's the end of the day. Like people, I get paid for my opinion. Yeah. I get paid for my point of view in life. And people enjoy it. And it's not like those opinions is not something that I believe in or something that I once believed in. Yeah. Right? But it's just like, bro, like I'm pretty cool. Do I say reckless ass shit on the internet? Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Are those my... But the thing is, those are my unaltered, like, unfiltered thoughts.
Yeah, I know. But you got to understand why people would leave those comments, though. Because, like, if somebody were to actually sit down with you, and because that's the conversation we had in the DM, I was like, bro, look. Maybe it was because he was 6'5", not because he was a Gemini.
It could be both.
It could be, but it's not. Because Gemini is the GOAT. Anyway. And that's the thing that's on the internet that a lot of people do. They always talk about the things they don't like, right? And when
I actually did a video about things I do like.
I know you try. Yeah, I seen it.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Make sure I check that out.
But I feel like once people go down that path of like, this is what I don't like, you see, because the number one thing to get somebody to interact with a video is things that incite polarization. That's the number one thing that could get something to trend on the internet, right? Is something that will polarize the people who watch it. They're either going to agree with you totally or they're going to totally disagree. And that's why I say when I watch your content and having spoke with you, the person on the content isn't the same. But a lot of people who watch it aren't going to be able to differentiate the two, right? So,
I mean, because it's just like we living our reality. Like when I make vlogs, and I don't like to make vlogs like that because people are creepy on the internet.
For sure.
So like if I'm out like where I'm just, you can't really tell like where I'm at or anything like that, then you know I'll vlog. Yeah. But or if I'm out with like DJ and Mike or something like that, cool. But overall, people are weird. Yeah. But when I do vlog, you know, people enjoy it and I enjoy doing it. But you still get some weird ass fucking comments. Yeah.
I just don't like. I don't really read my comments like that. I do on my second channel more than my first channel. I don't read my first channel comments at all. My second channel, I read them because my second channel is, the demographic is a lot younger. It's like 12 to 24 is my main demographic, like 80% of the people. So I read those comments because they're not there to terrorize me. They're there to just talk.
Because
right?
I had to literally turn off my messages. Like people who don't follow me and people
can't message you.
Yeah, people who don't follow me can't message me. They can't comment stuff on my pictures because I had someone literally just blowing my shit up every day.
You could just block them.
I did block them.
And they made another one?
Yes.
Is this somebody you dated?
No.
That's crazy.
Someone who just found me on the internet.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being in that situation. Somebody always asked me, well, not always. In my Avery B interview, he asked me, who do you think has it easier coming up in content creation, men or women? What do you think? I
think men will have it easier.
Really?
Yeah.
What I told him is I've never been a woman, so I don't know what barriers or what experiences come with that, and I don't know if I was a woman if I would be able to overcome them. Right?
It's literally because you gotta think there's some people like, you know, that are just fucking menaces. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like they just don't care about being a menace. Like they will follow you. They'll follow you on Instagram. They'll follow like I have like a business page. I have like an actual LacedBySha page that's literally just it's nothing but just me on the page or whatever, and I have my own personal page, and then I have like a travel blog or whatever. And the thing is that some men are just relentless. Yeah. And then they'll find me on Twitter. Like, they don't care. Yeah. Bro. And the thing is, it's just like, would you want somebody doing this to your mama? Yeah. Like, would you really want someone harassing your mama? Because I already told you I don't want nothing to do with you.
I can tell you've only scratched the surface of the internet. You know what Reddit is?
Oh yeah. So let me tell you, people. Apparently, I'm Googleable.
Yeah.
I found that out not too long ago. I am Googleable. So people Google, like, put my name in or whatever, and then they'll, like, when I had my business, like my lash business up and running, people leave comments on my lash page,
like beautiful stuff like that.
I have no problem with someone saying you're beautiful, but like someone's like, you're a delectable queen. I would love to be able to drink your bath water.
You got listen. Let me tell you something. As a content creator, you got to lean into that stuff.
And I'm looking like, you don't know where I've been today.
Listen.
You know how dirty I got.
But it's content though. You have to lean into it because, like,
I'm gonna start reading my comments. If I'm gonna make a video where I'm literally just reading off my block comments, because on YouTube,
you know what that's gonna do though?
Block your comments. It's gonna cause outrage.
Yeah, no, it's gonna encourage people to comment more. That's why you have to lean into that stuff. Like when people be making drawings of me looking like a guy, I don't be caring, bro. Because like people who know me in real life, you know what I'm saying?
That show's hilarious.
People who know me in real life, one, they're gonna be like, "Yo, it is what it is," and to them, it's funny. So like, bro,
it's definitely hilarious.
I tell them, I'm like, when I see it on the internet, I'm like, bro, post this on Instagram, tag me in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna share it. I tell them that because like, bro, I don't care. Like, and it does better for you. Like, these are people who eventually want to be animators and make fan art and stuff. So if you make something to troll me, you get some traffic, then you start putting your real stuff out. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here to look out for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, I just feel like, and just people are weird. Like, the women are mostly very supportive. Like, it's very supportive when it comes to, like, women on the internet. But, like, men are just weird, bro. Like, when I say weird, I mean, like, big weird.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I haven't even scratched the surface. When people are always talking about how I'd be like dogging men on my channel and just talking about them, I haven't even scratched the surface about the weird ass shit that men do.
What's the weirdest story you got?
Oh my gosh. That's gonna take some real hard thinking because I got followed one time.
Like on Instagram?
To my apartment, my house.
That's crazy. From a date?
I don't know where this person found me from. The internet, probably. But I think DJ had posted a video or something, and he was like near my apartment complex or something like that. And then they followed him. They saw, because me and DJ, you know, we do videos together sometimes. Yeah. And then they found, I guess they see like the area, and then I'd be vlogging, so I guess they just put like 2 and 2 together. And then they ended up like, because there is no secret that I drive a Honda, right? Yeah. My Honda, color Shalonda, right?
I didn't know that, but yeah.
I mean, like, people who follow me, like, on Instagram and stuff like that, like, you know, Instagram, social media, or whatever, they know I drive a Honda. And I even have a video on my channel. I don't have like my tag or anything on there, but I do have, like, you know, the importance about financial literacy when it comes to you know, purchasing a vehicle, things you need to do. So if you scroll, and that's the thing about the internet, if you scroll far enough, you can find anything on somebody. You'll find it, right? So I guess I have a Honda, and I guess they saw me out somewhere, and they followed me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I tell the story like I almost got kidnapped, but it's wild.
You never know, bro.
It's wild. So they followed me, but they never. I have gates and stuff, because that's the reason why I moved there, because I want to be somewhere that has working gates. Yeah. So they got to the gate and they
couldn't get in.
Yeah. So I knew they were following me, because when I was on my way home, I kept like changing lanes, you know, switching over, because I was
you should never go home.
Something's a little weird. I didn't go home at first. I went to like get something to eat, and then they waited until I got done, and then I went to Target, and then I went to like other places. But then eventually I thought they just, like, it had got dark, and I thought they weren't, like, following me no more.
So you don't got no male friends you can call and be like, hey, somebody's following me. I'm about to come to your house. Can you come outside?
No, DJ wasn't even here. DJ didn't even stay outside of town where I stay at now. So DJ is the closest person to me.
There was no dude that you recently dated, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I know I haven't talked to you in a minute.
No. Yeah, there is somebody that I ended up leaving my apartment and going to their house. But that was only, like, after some other weird stuff had happened that night. So I was like, you know, I'm just going to go to your house and I'm gonna stay there. Because the person they saw me, I don't know if they knew I lived there, or like if I lived there. Yeah. But they did see me, like, because the way it's like said, they saw me go through the gate, right? So I don't know if they assumed that I lived there, but they were following me. Yeah. So then I just eventually, I waited a couple hours. I got upstairs and I waited a couple hours. I didn't get out the car or anything because why the fuck would I get out the car? Because then if you really found your way up here, now you really know where I lived at. Get done. So I didn't get out the car, right? And I ended up leaving. I didn't see the car when I pulled back downstairs, and I ended up leaving. I ended up going to their house, and I stayed the night there. And then I think like the next morning, I was so freaked out. And then the next morning, I ended up getting my stuff, and I went to South Carolina. Okay. And I was there for like 4 days.
Is that where you're from?
That's where my aunt lives.
Okay. Yeah. Where are you from?
New Orleans. Interesting. Yeah. So, and I was not about to drive 7 hours. Yeah. So I just drove to South Carolina and I stayed there. And that was pretty straight. But I'm telling you, like, people are weird. Or others can't talk. This other time, I met this guy and then we went on a date or whatever. And he just like basically spitting out everything I spit out, like I said on YouTube, just stuff about me. Just starts like how long you stayed in South Carolina, you went to USC, what you go to school for, and then they just started talking about like stuff like I said on the internet. So that's why I'm very like
weary.
Yeah, like I don't say a whole lot of things like personal, like my personal life. Like I talk about things that happened to me in the past. I don't ever really talk about something that's currently going on with me because you have people who will just spit out like things like where I went to school at, where did I stay, where it's from. Like people will go to the extent of like looking up because once I moved out of, I used to stay in a city called Spartanburg. So once I moved out of Spartanburg and I moved to Atlanta, I told people that I lived in Spartanburg. Yeah. Because why the fuck would I tell people I live in Spartanburg
when I live in
Spartanburg? Yeah. Right? Then I told people where I went to school at after I graduated. Like when I'm in graduate school, it's not really that big of a deal because I go to school online. I don't have to go anywhere. But like, it's always do things in aftermath. But it's because people will come up to me, like guys will try to go on a date with me, and when we were on a date, this guy like I said, he was just like he had watched the whole catalog. Like he watched every video I ever made. Like
that's crazy.
This shit is wild, actually. And then like I have a travel blog, and it's like that's public, you know. It's not really. This is something that I like to do. And he was talking about like the food I went, like, oh, I saw you went to Puerto Rico. How was that? Like
on first date?
First date.
Insane. That Absolutely man needs to be stopped, bro.
He needs to be institutionalized.
Bro, I knew it was weird because, like, I had been in a relationship for so long. My whole YouTube career, I had been in a relationship till last summer. And...
How long have you been on YouTube? 12 years?
No. I've been on YouTube for like 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, it was weird when girls that I knew since I, like, was in, like, elementary school started calling me Holla. I'm like,
you know my name.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't. But it's weird though, because like there's girls who met me through YouTube and found out my real name, and they'll call me by.
But that's not what you call me.
Yeah,
that's not my name. To you. Like I guess like I'm also, that's so funny because my Instagram name used to be Thing About It. Right, like
Thing About It.
Thing About It.
Okay.
Like literally Thing About It. So
they used to call you Thing?
No, they used to call me Thing About It.
Oh.
Like they used to see me, like my Instagram name has been probably changed for like years, right? But people I went to college with, like I never, like I'm not a partier. If you're gonna find me anywhere, it's gonna be in the house. Yeah. Okay. I'm chilling. All right. I'm big chilling because I don't social anxiety. So
how do you find the dudes that you date then?
Like I'll go out like once in a while, like I go to lounges and stuff like that, or I'll go, like I'll just like be out doing stuff, you know. Some men really do have the audacity to walk up to you when you look like a homeless person and you're shopping for shit in Target. They have the audacity to be like, "Oh yeah, you look so beautiful." Now, sir, I know what I look like when I left this house.
Why do women do that though? Men, like you could look at a girl and tell if she looks attractive.
Yeah, that's what I was told after the fact. I met someone I was taking out my garbage one time. We were friends or whatever. And then I guess like the last person that I officially like was in like a relationship with, my neighbor. Me and my neighbor like were friends, and then my neighbor was like, "Oh, do you want to go out?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." Because I had some like homegirls over, and then he was just like, "Oh well, tell your friends that we want to go out." And I was like, "All right, cool." And we ended up just all going out together. He brought his friend.
Okay.
And then so I met that man at my house. He just came, like my friend came to my house with him, and then he was there. And then he found me on Instagram, and then we dated for some months. And that's how that happens. But usually I don't really go outside, because you gotta think, is the man I really want to meet in the club?
But you don't only go out to the club though.
No, I go out to like other places, and most of the time I'll go somewhere I'm with Mike or like DJ. So people are not gonna come talk to me.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like,
you use them as like human shields for you.
No, not really. Guys just don't come up and talk to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen some bold dudes. I've been out with my friends sometimes and well, it's usually when I'm out with multiple girls.
Yes, if you're out with like multiple people, like say if I'm out with like DJ and Mike, somebody will probably like, say something to me. Or I think one of the weirdest things is when guys, they'll see me out in public and they like follow me on Instagram. So I'm like, oh, I saw you out in public. I saw you at the
That's
mall.
So crazy that
like,
people could do that.
Why didn't you just come and speak to me? You could have just said, hey. You didn't have to be like, hey,
well,
shorty,
I think because if you look on the internet, I think women playing into like these narratives and talking in hyperbole on the internet has discouraged men from doing a lot of things, right? One is approaching them in public, because y'all make it seem like if any dude who wants to respect your space, forget the dudes who don't care, because they gonna do it anyway.
They're gonna do whatever they want to do anyways.
But if I am a good, Samaritan, and I respect people's wishes, and I see people talking on the internet like, yo, I just hate how men walk up to women and blah, blah, blah. And that's all you hear from women on the internet. When I see a woman out in public, I'm probably pass on that. And the less risky way is just slide into DM. Now, mentioning that you've seen her in public is crazy.
Yeah, the fact that he said, I saw you in the mall.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But
like, you could have said, he could have slid my DMs. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I dated this guy like off and on, and he swears that he met me before, right? But I don't ever remember meeting that man.
How did you date him if you never met him?
No, I'm talking about like before we actually started dating. Like he swore I met him, but also the night that he said I met him, it was our homecoming. So I was mildly intoxicated.
Yeah, probably,
But I don't remember everything that happened that night. I do not, like...
It could have been like an informal meet, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talk to
If I would have seen that man, I would have said something to that man.
Oh, for real? He was like that?
I would have said something to him, but I didn't see him. I didn't see him. But yeah, I didn't see him, so I don't remember. And he was like, oh, because it was like a fight that night. And he was like, oh, y'all was at the fight. I mean, we could have been at the same exact place, but that doesn't mean that I saw you.
Yeah.
But we ended up meeting on Instagram, I think.
Yeah.
On the internet. Meeting people on the internet is like wild. Because you got to think, like, when we were younger, your parents were like, oh, don't be believing everyone you meet on the internet. Don't talk to strangers on the internet. Yeah. Now look at us. We're getting our food from strangers. We're hopping in the car in strangers on like Uber and Lyft. And now we're just dating. We're just internet dating, which has became very popular.
Yeah.
And now we just find the people on the internet like, oh, you kind of cute. You want to go on a date? You meeting up people on the internet. I
am never sliding in somebody's DM that I met on the internet, bro. It's not happening. Like, or that I seen on the internet.
I met you on the internet.
But I heard of you before.
We do have mutual friends, though.
Yeah. I was literally, like, the way I found you was... so I get a phone call about some things that are going on. The person is asking me these questions. I'm like, okay, yeah, And then you come up.
Me?
Yeah, you came up in the situation. So I forgot how like in the conversation how it went from that to that, because they really just called me to see what I was doing, You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, I'm streaming. Go ahead and say what's good to the stream. But I got the stream. I could go back and look at it and see how the conversation went.
So you were on the phone during the stream?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was on the phone. I always tell people if somebody called me, I'll be like, what's good, such and such? You're on the stream. Don't say anything to incriminate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And they're talking. They bring you up. So I'll follow you on Instagram. And then they tell me more stuff that is a conversation for like off the podcast. So that's when I started liking all your pictures, right? so
because the thing is that I knew who you were because we have mutual friends. It's kind of hard not to know who you are when you have mutual friends. I'm only known of you because
I had no clue who you were.
I only known of you because of DJ.
Yeah,
because DJ was like, oh yeah, I'm about to go to Mike and Holla crib, and I'm like,
who's Holla?
No, I was like, who's Mike actually?
Okay.
Because it's before. I don't know if you know how me and Mike met.
I don't.
Yeah, there's a video on that.
Okay.
So me and Mike, it was just DJ set us up on a blind date and it just didn't work.
Okay.
So we just became like best friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, but the video is absolutely hilarious. It's on my channel. It's on Mike's channel.
Okay.
It's even on DJ's channel actually.
Oh, it's on all three?
Yes, on all three.
Okay.
So, but not at the same time though. Like DJ has the actual footage of
the actual date.
It wasn't even a date.
Okay.
Really. But he has the actual footage, and then I have like me and Mike were talking about it. And then he has a video of me and him were talking about it.
Okay.
So, like, my point of view and then his point of view. Because I think the video said asking my ex was to like to date me, but, you know, like, cap.
Yeah.
Because it's the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so DJ was just like, and he was like, oh, this is Mike. And I was like, oh. No, he didn't say who Mike was. He was just like, oh, just my friend. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay. And then y'all did a video together, and then that's how I knew you were. But then I just kind of like, all right, whatever. Like, that was it. That was literally it. That was literally it, and that's all I knew. And then I completely forgot about it until I was like, I called Mike, and I was like, who the fuck is this? And he was like, oh, that's Holla. And I was just like,
inquiring minds would like to know.
Like, Holla.
What made you ask that, though? Just because?
Because you like 5 pictures.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I was on the phone. Okay.
Like 5 pictures.
That makes sense. All right.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
So it was because I was on the phone. The conversation that I had made me do what I did. Right?
Oh, so I was like, who the hell is this person?
Yeah.
So then I realized that it was you.
I think I already told you how the conversation went. I did tell you how it went. Yeah.
So then I realized that it was you because, like I said, I associated with the video that you did with DJ. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, cool. So boom. So then I was like, oh yeah, he's not a creepy person.
Oh yeah, nah.
You know, he's not because people be creepy.
That is so funny, Red. That is so funny. He's not a creepy
person because we literally have the same mutual friends.
Yeah.
So I know you can be that bad. I mean, I know one of our mutual friends. He's kind of like, but the other ones,
yeah,
they're pretty legit.
Look, so we were on the phone and that happened. So they were like, yeah, get her on a podcast, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, make some content, you know what I'm saying? So, and mind you, like, I try to like hype things up for my stream because that's how people are gonna go become fans of you, right? Is if because I'm on stream, I have your Instagram on my stream. And I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Hey, chat, should we get her on a podcast? So I go.
Oh, yeah, because I was.
Go ahead.
Because you was like, because he said something about when I said like the Gemini part, like you stopped it and he was just like, literally like, that don't make no sense. And then I continued and you was like, oh no. She said something about Leos.
Oh yeah, that was on my story, but I'm talking about the day I followed you.
Oh yeah.
So I had your Instagram pulled up on my
stream.
On my stream. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm talking to my chat. I'm like, bro, blah blah blah. Should we get her on? I'm on the phone at the same time too. So
I didn't even know that part.
Yeah, nobody would know. But like, you know what I'm saying? That's
except for the people that was on the stream.
Yeah. So
shout out to the people that was on the stream.
Hey, shout out to the stream team. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I ended up liking your pictures because I was like, chat, should we just slide in the DMs or should we? Nah, she don't even follow me.
Message me.
I didn't. I just liked your pictures.
Oh.
I literally wasn't even looking at them. Like I was talking to my chat and scroll, click. I didn't even look at the pictures. I just liked them.
It was like 5 of them bitches, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Because a lot of people do that, but it's because they can't message or comment on my pictures.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I had someone literally like every single picture I posted, right?
Hey, listen, WU for the follow back though. You know what I'm saying? Thank you.
I mean, because I knew you weren't a strange person. It was just a person that was just.
You didn't know. I could have been anybody.
I knew from the information that I was given that you were not a creep.
Okay.
All right, so that's the most important part of the conversation.
That works.
That you're nothing like another person, and you're not a creep.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that's how that happened. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
That's pretty wild, actually. That like.
How that whole thing came to fruition.
Yeah, and then it's just like, then you get on my channel and just, Lord.
I know how to create content.
Yeah, but before you even made the videos, I'm talking about before you actually made the videos and you watched the videos and you were like, what the fuck?
You talking about on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, bro, I'm just minding my own little light skin business and my own little world.
I forgot how
because I laugh at your picture. They were fucking.
Oh yeah.
That picture, and you were like, and you said something like, he was like, "Oh, do you make YouTube videos?" No, sir. No,
I'll be asking questions I already know the answer to.
No, sir. No, I don't make YouTube videos.
That was funny. That was a good reply, though. You know what I'm saying? Your reply was good, though, to that.
Like, sir, no, I'm just here on the internet. Just on the internet.
It was different, though, wasn't it?
No, because
yes, it was, bro.
No, it wasn't different.
Everybody else pulled up to you like, "Hey, you're from Spartanburg, South Carolina." No, that's what they did. I pretend like I didn't know nothing.
Not original. I would not.
How many people ask you, "Do you make YouTube videos?"
A lot of people.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
But you knew that I knew though, so
I knew that you knew I made YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I knew that.
It's in your bio.
We all know the same people. So at some point, because even the person that told you, yeah, I make YouTube videos.
Yeah, so the way that conversation went was like, yo, this girl is really dope. She has her head on her shoulders. You know what I'm saying? She's creating content. Like she just has around the right creators, you know what I'm saying? She could definitely blow up for sure. That's how the conversation went. So, we got a good cast of creators around us. So I don't be minding like bringing people into like the atmosphere of what we got going on, because then everybody could do good. You know what I'm saying?
And especially when it comes, because I also do like I work with Mike too when it comes to like analytics and stuff like that. Like when it comes to like consulting, as far as content creation, as far as growing and being able to find your target audience with and how to do that on YouTube and Instagram.
I'll tell you, you're going down a dangerous path on YouTube. Yeah. The type of videos you make are very dangerous. They're very fly by night. You know what I'm saying? Content that, because anybody can make your content, right?
Yeah, anybody can make the content. So it's just like, and that's why when it comes to people who talk about like a lot of niches, like people are like, oh, you need to find your niche and kind of stick to it. Yeah. But when it comes, like, I'm a lifestyle, like content creator. So what my life is currently, like what I'm currently dealing with in my life is what it is. Because I used to make makeup videos, right? I still do makeup, but I don't really like be like, oh, I'm using, we're making like makeup reviews and stuff like that. Yeah. Because I used to do makeup, so I still enjoy doing my makeup, but it's just kind of like, the videos are really like chit chat, get ready with me. Yeah. Right. And the wild thing is that people actually want to hear what I gotta say. Yeah. And the thing is, sometimes I don't always talk about relationships. There's a lot of things that I talk about, on my channel that are not relationship based, but it's just kind of like what it is at that moment. Like, of course, I plan content, like I had to do a video today, like I do paid content and stuff like that. But when it comes to just like like I'm sitting down doing my makeup and I'm just going off the dome, sometimes it's just kind of like, whatever is going on. Yeah. And most recently, the idea has just been centered around dating, because a lot of people have asked me, like, people will comment on like videos that's not even like, really dating. Like it's usually not men, it's usually like young girls. Yeah. Younger girls or women who are just like, things you'll tell your younger self, or, things that you just more of a advice type thing. But like I'm somebody's big cousin or something. I
think what you should change your content to, which will help you in the long run, is don't base it on generalizations, right? Because you want to sell Shay, not dating.
Yeah, that is also a good idea.
So I think what you should change your stuff to, which will, one, give people a less warped perception of like who you are when they watch your videos and they see the title, is to like change your content to more like story time based things. Get ready with me, like
I'm not gonna lie, story times do be hitting, but it's just like, but it also comes back to that personal aspect.
Exactly.
You know, that like people, like I don't mind, you know, telling stories about like what's going on, but as far as like, I don't want to give out too much personal information sometimes.
You don't have to.
But it's just like I do have like my ancestry story time. That shit was pretty wild. I don't know if you saw that, but basically I just kind of just talk about I did ancestry and how I found one video is like how I found my sister, my mom's daughter. I found her ancestry, yeah. And then
what are you? Like what did it say you were?
I'm a nigga.
Like what? Like what? Damn, that's crazy. Like what else did it say? Like some people are from West Africa, you know.
Yeah, like West African. A lot of like Irish, Creole.
Okay.
So, but I'm also when I did a reveal when my ancestry came back, so I also put that on like YouTube because it's just kind of like it's interesting because a lot of people would be quick. Oh, what are you? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like I'm black.
Yeah.
You know, my dad's family, half of my dad's paternal family is Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of
like, we might be related. You know what I'm saying?
I really doubt that. but yes, my dad's paternal side is like Puerto Rican, and it's just like Creole for the most part, like my grandma's side, like my dad's mom, and then my mom's mom was Caucasian. Caucasian, and then my mom's dad, which we're still trying to like piece together the pieces on that. Yeah. He was mixed with, he was Irish, Filipino. I think it was Filipino, because it's basically you have to once I found my sister, well actually once my sister found us, really that's how it went. We basically put our ancestries together. We don't have the same father, but we share the same mother. Yeah. So I already knew about my dad. I already knew about my dad's family and everything about that. But my sister was adopted. My sister and my brother, they were adopted together. Like my older sister and my older brother were adopted together. So their lineage is a little, you know, different when it comes like their paternal side. But our maternal side matches up. Like we have people who are who we are both related to, but we only can be related to this person because if it's my grandma, then they white people. Yeah. But the non-white people that we share is my mom's father's side of the family. Okay. My mom never knew her father, so it was just kind of like putting that together, and it's just like I look like my mom, like we all look alike. Yeah. But the thing is that my mom has features that were like unique to her. Like my mom had reddish brown hair. Yeah. She was very tall. She was very slender. She had like her darker tan skin. Yeah. Like, and all her other siblings either looked like they were white or like Hispanic. Yeah. But my mom, she didn't look like that. She looked like a
little bit different.
Yeah, she looked a little different. So we knew that like, you know, something be different. So that's why we kind of like really kind of dived into the ancestry, and we really didn't get that far because we ended up finding out that my mom's dad ended up passing away, and I don't think that he had any other children. Or we only know because of like ancestry. So it's more people on that side of the family that does ancestry or something like that. We'll get further. Yeah. But that's really the only reason that we really did it. I mean, because I don't really care what I'm made of because I'm black. Yeah. I mean, that isn't.
I was just asking because you said you did
but I'm saying like, you know, but like nothing about that is ever going to change. Because a lot of people get on like ancestry and they're like, oh, I'm 20% Nigerian. Like I have like I have a large percentage of Nigerian. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like a large percentage of Nigerian. But it's not like I'm gonna go around telling people I'm Nigerian.
Yeah.
Like, do I have Nigerian blood? Yeah, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, like yeah. You're like, yeah, you know, I'm Nigerian. Like, where you from?
I think a lot of people, they just want to feel different. You know what I'm saying? And that's their way of feeling different sometimes.
I look different than everybody, than like the people that I was raised with, like my cousins and stuff. I physically look different. Like my skin color and stuff like that, and my hair, I look different. So like, I don't want to be any more different.
Yeah.
Because the only people I care about their true, honest opinions. I don't care about a lot of people's opinions, but like, are these set people?
Yeah.
You know, so like, there's a man that was going back and forth with me talking about I wasn't black on that video. Sir, I don't care. I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
If I'm black or not, you don't define my blackness. My black grandmother, my black father describe my blackness. Not you, mystery man on the internet.
Yeah. I think a lot of people just are angry on the internet. That's why I try not to argue. But I feel like
I didn't argue with him. This other girl argued with him, and she tore him up. I love black women. Black women.
Yeah. Golden.
It is. How would you live a life without them?
That's what I be trying to say. Like, I know a lot of my friends, I be joking with them like, oh, I know you about to have a Hispanic wife. And I have no problem with that. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Whoever you fall in love with, it's on you. But you know what I'm saying? Black women are definitely goated for sure.
The thing is that like for me, because when I like at this point I'm dating, I'm thinking about, okay, like when I say relationship, when I'm getting into a relationship with someone, if I do get a relationship with someone, is because I can see myself like building something else with you, right? But I'm already a little bit too much on the Caucasian scale for my likeness, right? So if I have a kid with a white man, my kid won't be able to say nigga.
I mean, maybe. You never know. Yeah. One of your which parents did you say was black? Both of them, right? Both of them are mixed with black.
Yeah, most of them are mixed.
So some of their genes
is black.
So they genes might pop up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
they might not. Also,
I don't want to have to take that chance because, like, my kid is like my nephew. I love my nephew to death. He looks like somebody's Filipino baby. Yeah. He has like wavy hair. I just can't imagine him be like, yeah, nigga.
That's crazy.
Who you calling a nigga?
So when you were growing up, were you like how was your experience growing up? Especially being from like New Orleans, a highly black populated place, South Carolina, very black populated place. How was your experience?
The thing is that when I was young, I moved around a lot. Yeah. But I lived my very young childhood. I lived with my grandmother, and like I said, my grandmother's Caucasian. Yeah. So you can only imagine, like, and I'm not dark now. Yeah. But I was lighter than this as a child. So the only way that a lot of people really kind of like made speculations about me and my grandmother was just like if I so happened to have like my hair just out or something like that. Yeah. So it was just kind of like a little weird situation. So growing up when I was living with my white grandma, like it was pretty cool. I mean, I don't remember anything that was like terribly awful. Yeah. You know? But at that point, such a young age, my very first memory was with my grandmother. So it's just like I don't have anything like really. It was fairly good. I spent time with my cousins and stuff like that. But my cousins are dark skinned. When I say dark skinned, I mean like
dark skin.
They're brown. Yeah. Nice brown, nice black men. Yeah. Right. So it's just kind of like when we used to go out together, it used to be an issue. But I used to always have fun. Like when I was a kid, like I was really outgoing. Like the things I do have social anxiety, but once I'm in a situation where I feel like safe, like I could talk and, you know, like be a little bit more comfortable. Yeah. But I was always around my cousins, which I, you know, coined as my siblings, but I was always around them. So like, it was no issue. Like there's nothing I couldn't say or nothing I couldn't do. Because for one, I was the only girl the family dynamic is a little weird, but when I was living with my aunt and uncle and my 3 cousins, I was the literally only girl. I grew up with the only girl in the family.
Dang.
Granted, I did have a sister,
Yeah.
but my sister was adopted before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, I was
You
the only girl.
girl.
I was the only girl until I turned like 26.
Yeah.
Right, and then it was just like, here's your sister.
Yeah.
I mean, I always knew I had a sister. So
they adopted your actual sister,
the other,
like your blood sister.
my blood sister, my mom's daughter.
Okay.
My mom's daughter and my mom's son was
They
adopted
Okay.
before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I spent my time with my grandmother and my aunt. Like most of my childhood, I spent with them. So it was just kind of like, I mean, I didn't know anything like, because you're a kid, you don't know anything different. So it's just like, I mean, it was lit. Did I get in trouble sometimes? Probably, but I've always been the person I was smarter than the rest of them.
Yeah, that's good.
I would leave before the adults came. So, cause ruckus, then leave.
Yeah. Be out.
Not a whole lot has changed, but
Terrible. Do you believe that you benefit from light skin privilege, or do you think that's a thing?
I think skin tone privilege is a thing, especially in the Black community, and I do think that I do benefit from light skin privilege a lot, because I feel like a lot of the other things that I feel like for one, like I said before, Black women are absolutely God sent, and I feel like dark skinned Black women do not get a lot of like shine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that there's opportunities that are given to me that could have went to someone that is a darker skin complexion than I am. And that's one of the things that I try to like, because I'm a girl's girl, like I always try to like encourage like the other girls that I know, especially in content creation, to try to get them really,
like
more availability. Like for example, if I get like a brand deal or something like that, I may do a vlog or something like that. Say I have the perfume and I'm going to go be with my friends. I'll do a girls' day. Like, I'm getting dressed and then, vlog girls' day. And then I'm with the girl and then like, oh, smell this perfume. And then, they smell it or whatever. And then so they like it. Then I've had situations where that company reached out to them.
Okay, that's what's up.
So it's just kind of like, because a lot of
sharing the wealth.
Yeah, because a lot of my friends is just like, I do get branded content. I that's something that's very that happens very frequently. But a lot of other people don't get the same. There's a difference. There's a difference between making YouTube money that people like YouTube actually pays you the AdSense rather
branded
than
content,
sponsored content. Most of like the women that I know that do content, they make most of their money off of sponsored content. For sure.
There's so much money in makeup. I think like the only thing that's more beneficial than makeup is like finance, then kids. Makeup is third, I think.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like it's just beauty in general, So I had companies hitting me up for like face wash stuff and just overall skincare products. And it's just like, oh, I can't currently, do this right now. So, but I do have this creator that, very interesting that could do it. And I'll just pass it on to them.
Yeah, that's what's up.
It may not be my speed.
Yeah.
So it's just something different. So that's why, like, I feel like when it comes to having privilege of any sort, that it's important to use that privilege for, like, good.
Yeah.
Because why would I be out? I'm not always a menace.
Yeah. Nice person, you know what I'm saying?
Nice person sometimes. at least gotta be like, So it's just like, I don't know. I feel like there's also a thing as pretty privilege too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I used to hate when I was in college. My friends would be like they know I hate going out. I literally despise going out, right?
For real? Yeah.
Like, and they'll be like, oh, come out with me. And we'll go out and no one has to pay for drinks.
Yeah.
Y'all just want me out here.
Oh, they wanted you to come so they could get their drinks paid for?
So now we just getting free shit.
That's crazy. They're using you. That's
just
tough.
Using me. Like, man, I hate it here.
Never mind. I'm not gonna make you answer that.
What?
But nah, nothing.
What was your question?
I was gonna say. So you're saying your friends are ugly? That's what I was gonna say.
No, I'm not saying that my friends are ugly, but you go back to the light skin privilege aspect.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Like most of my friends are. I have like a couple white friends, but most of my friends are like dark, like brown skin, like beautiful brown skin women. So it's just like.
Listen, all Shay's friends, it was a joke, all right? It was a question, it was a joke.
They're beautiful, beautiful women. But the thing is that when you got a thick-ass, light-skinned girl with curly hair walking in the room, it's niggas gonna be like, who was that?
Yeah.
And I'm going to fucking ignore you.
You seem like a I ignore people type person.
That's my go-to. I will ignore you.
So let's go back, all right? So you mentioned something about dating earlier. What is your ideal first date?
My ideal first date, something really like chill for real, like brunch or something like that.
Yeah.
I like things that people put actual thought into.
Yeah.
So like brunch or like brunch at the park, stuff like that. Like I love tacos.
Okay.
Right. So people like, oh,
you like real tacos or tacos?
I like real tacos.
Like street tacos?
Street tacos, right?
Okay.
Like I love tacos. If there's only one thing I had to eat in this world, it would be chicken tacos.
You lost me, all right? You almost had me.
I don't eat beef or pork.
Okay. I don't eat pork either. But
yeah, so I don't eat beef or pork. So just tacos, right? Like
listen,
just
I want to give up beef, but steak is too good, bro.
I don't like steak.
You haven't had a good steak, that's why.
No, I just don't like steak.
No, because you haven't had a good steak, that's why.
I've had a lot of steak. I just don't like steak. I don't like it.
You haven't had good steak.
We're gonna go with that. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe my mind will be changed, but I don't like steak.
Okay.
Overall, I don't eat beef. I don't like the way it smells when it cooks.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. But yeah, so like going to get tacos or something like that, tacos and like tequila or something like that, like something. Well, I probably won't drink on a first date.
Yeah.
But something that they know that I probably would have talked about, because one of the things you talk about, like when you first what's your favorite food?
Yeah.
What do you like to do? So something that kind of like goes along with those lines of thoughts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't consider myself a hard person to date. I think that's like I don't consider myself a hard person to date. I really don't. I feel like that I'm a very easygoing person when it comes to dating.
Until you say something that you don't like, then you shut down.
And I'm not saying that I don't like something that I know if I respond to it, I'm probably going to hurt your feelings.
For real?
And I'm not out to hurt. If I care about you, I'm not out to like hurt your feelings.
I prefer people to hurt my feelings. Like, I want you to be honest. Like, because that's the only way I'm going to know how to change. Like,
I mean, there's other ways to change besides, just being.
It's your delivery, though. Let me tell you. All right?
Yeah.
So you remember when we first set this up, right? So you asked what time. I told you time. And your response, right? Now, I'm a very calm person, emotionally intelligent person. I knew you probably didn't mean it the way you typed it, right? But the way you worded it.
I can't say that, but.
Oh, you probably. Listen. The way that you worded what you said was, in my opinion, I wouldn't have said it like that because it would come off to somebody who didn't know me as like snappy a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, when I said I wasn't about to drive over here in the middle of traffic?
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't about to drive over here in the middle of traffic.
I get it. Listen. I understand that. But it's all about delivery sometimes.
I completely understand.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, like, sometimes you may not be out to hurt somebody's feelings when you say something. But sometimes if you could deliver it away that's digestible for a person, maybe that could help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's why I shut the fuck up.
No, you just got to learn how to, you know what I'm saying?
I shut the fuck up until I'm able to
find the words.
Find something that is constructive to say. Because
I kind of figured that. Oh, I didn't know where you lived. But I was like, you know what I'm saying?
I live in a city. Yeah. Like the city.
Yeah.
So the idea
of coming up here,
having to drive all the way over here in the middle of traffic. And at 6 p.m., I would have never made it over here.
Yeah.
Because I would be here at 6. That means I have to leave my house at like 4:30.
Yeah.
And I was getting off work, and I work on the south side. I would have never made it over here.
Yeah.
And then I would have never made it home.
That's why I asked you what time first.
Yeah.
But then you asked me what time, so I was like,
Because at that point I didn't realize, because I recently just started this job, right? So I didn't realize that it was going to take me
that long to get home.
To get home.
Yeah.
So that's a problematic situation.
That makes sense though, but I feel like it's one.
Jesus.
You straight?
Yeah. I just got a whole bunch of text messages at once.
Oh.
Weird.
But yeah.
No one ever texts me.
All right, so
why did you make that face?
Cause girls just be lying.
No,
like,
no one ever texts me because I don't ever text back. So no one ever texts me.
Why don't you text back?
Because I be taking a nap.
Oh, for real?
I be sleeping. I really be sleeping.
That's great.
And then say for example, like I'll be on the phone with my friends, and it'll be like, because I when I get off work, I usually sleep from like 5 or whenever I get off work until like 7:30.
Yeah.
I was on the phone with my friend. I was like, well, yeah, I'm about to go to sleep. She looked at the phone. She's like, oh yeah, it is your nap time.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is, ma'am.
I mean, I take naps during the day, but it's usually like after the gym, I'll come back, stream, and then I'll take a nap until I get up to cook and then do my second stream.
So
but like
multiple streams a day?
Yeah, I stream on 2 different channels during the day that do 2 different things. So, I mean, I take naps, but I'll be like now it's gotten so bad because I lay down, I'll be laying there for like 10 minutes, be like, I need to do this. Let me get back up.
See, let me tell you one thing about me, okay? I don't mind working. Like I work a lot. Like I do a lot of things, right? I juggle and manage a lot of things. But one thing I'm gonna tell you is that I'm gonna make a time for a nap.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna make time because I feel like that's part of my self-care. Like, do you have to do self-care every day? You have to do a part. Because I get up in the morning. I wake up at like 5:45, 6 a.m. Every morning, except for on the weekends because no.
Yeah.
But I do wake up and go to the gym first thing in the morning. Come home, take a shower, get ready to go to work, leave, go to work, come back. But I'm up for like 12 hours at that point.
Yeah.
And I'm at work having to socialize with other people. Like when I work from home, it was easier.
Yeah.
But now I'm at work and I have to socialize with people. Now I already got social anxiety.
Yeah.
I am drained by the time I get home, take a nap. Then I get up and I do everything else I have to do.
So when you say you have like social anxiety, like what is your experience going out into like a social place?
I get anxious sometimes. Like I don't like for example, when it comes to, I don't go Black Friday shopping.
Okay.
I don't, because I'll get in there and then I will feel like there's too many people moving everywhere. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
There's too many moving parts, or like things are too loud.
Yeah.
It just makes me like tense up. I get like anxious a little bit. Sometimes a lot of it. And then it's like a fight or flight sense, and I just leave.
Usually.
But it's just kind of like talking. It's like, you know what, you're fine, you're okay, you're safe, it's okay, don't worry about it, you're safe. So just having those techniques, coping mechanisms, they kind of like get back to a sense of normalcy. But it's just like when I'm in a place where it's just a lot of noise, a lot of people, especially unfamiliar people. I remember I was in Walmart one time, and I think it was like around Christmas time or something like that. But I was just going to the store to go get like paper towels or something. Yeah. And there was like, it had to be at least.
Was it during the COVID paper towel brigade?
It was way before that. That's when I was staying in South Carolina. So it was way before that. Because I haven't been to Walmart for real since I moved to Georgia.
For real?
There's no Walmart by me. So it has to be at least 30 people in each line, and it was just like, you know how like Walmart had that short little space for line, so it's just like people everywhere. You can't get
stacked
through.
On top of each other.
Yeah, and you can't get through, and it's just like every time I moved somewhere, there was people.
Yeah, and
I was just like, I literally froze.
Yeah,
that goes back to the idea where I just stopped talking. It's because I freeze.
Yeah,
my brain just be like, yeah, we're gonna go on break. We'll be back in 15.
Yeah. So find something to do with your body until then.
Exactly. So it's just kind of like, that's literally how I felt.
That's okay. I think I have I don't think I have social anxiety. I think I have when things are about to happen, I'm a person once it starts, I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah, I can understand that. I get a little anxious once I'm starting something new, but I don't classify that as what happens to me. I don't classify it as anxiety because it's natural. You're starting something new, so you're going to be a little anxious about it.
Yeah.
But something that is crippling, like I'm in the middle of Walmart, and there's people running around, and I'm just like.
Now I think I have crippling depression. I have but I don't be depressed a lot though.
So could it be high functioning?
No. I think I have.
You can still function.
What do you mean? No. When I can't pick myself up to do nothing. Type and I don't like to use scientific terms to self-diagnose it. But if I had to label it, that's what it's crippling. A crippling depressive state. But the only time I go through this, and that's why I'm so very. I'm not gonna say cutthroat, but I'm very if you bring bad energy around me, or if I feel like you're not a good person, you can't come around me. Because I do a lot of stuff for the people around me. And if I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, or people are doing snake stuff, I can't be around you. Because now my space around you is no longer safe. Yeah. Right? And being in that space I literally why is this person doing you ain't have to do this. Everything could have been cordial, you know what I'm saying? And that will lead. So, listen, people, you got to go. Say goodbye. There'll be people I'll talk to one day, and the next day, you'll be, look, once that barrier is broken, and I feel like you have the capability to go past the line, I'm not willing to allow my friends to go past. And I'm a very, accepting person of a lot of things. I can work through a lot of stuff, but there are certain lines there's no coming back, because I will never forget it. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I can get that, because it's just kind of there's some things I was saying this to my friend the other day. My mom passed away in 2019.
Okay, sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have to say that,
Yeah, I think that's
the nice thing to say.
Say. But thank you, I guess. Yeah. So my mom passed away in 2019, and when she passed away, like I said before, growing up, I wasn't staying with my mom. When I got a little older, we kind of got closer, and I was living with her and stuff like that. And then when I went away to college, so our relationship wasn't always the best. Yeah. But it's just kind of when she passed away, we were we were doing a little bit better. So it's just kind of but I was still, when I got older, I still call her and kind of joke around and stuff like that. So sometimes it's just grief is kind of weird, and it kind of puts me in a high functioning depressive state. Yeah. But I'm still able to do the things I need to do, right? But I'm still sad, right? Yeah. So it'd be days where it'd just be having really good days, and then it'd be out of nowhere in the back of my head, it'd be your mama dead, right? Oh, wow. And then they'd be bruh, I was having a good week. Now I got this memory stored away that just pops up. Yeah. Because it's kind of some things will trigger it, because like I said before, I look like my mother. Yeah. Right? And when she first passed away, it was really kind of hard to kind of look at yourself when you look like a doppelganger of the person. So I was pretty sad, for a while. But it's just over time, I kind of embraced it, got used to it. But some days it's just
harder than others.
Yeah, like I'll just look in the mirror and I'll be like
yeah.
that is I'm really my mom's child. And it gets pretty sad sometimes, or some memory will pop up, like, you know, I'll go like check Facebook. I'm never really on Facebook or anything like that. Yeah. But I'll go check Facebook and then it'll be like a post. I think the other day it was memory. Like, oh, I miss my mommy or something like that. Yeah. And I'm just like, that's some wild ass shit.
That could be hard to navigate through. I still have both my parents, but I think I have a story that has that same effect on me. I mean, I haven't told the internet, probably won't for a while, but like that one thought that could ruin like
you just day. You're literally just fucked for the rest of the day. It's literally like, I remember when my mom first passed away, I was doing better, but then something happened and it was like, oh, I gotta tell my mom, and then boom. Yeah. Like, dang. You gotta tell who? Cause she in heaven, honey. At least I hope so. Yeah. And like, so it's just like I used to have dreams about her like a little while after it happened, but they kind of like stopped. But it's also sometimes it's just like you feel people's presence. Like, I don't know if you ever had someone who was really close to you that passed away, and you just feel
like something's there.
Yeah, you just, I mean, that's probably the little Creole in me, but you just feel like someone's there, like that person, like the type of comfort that you would get, like the type of comfort that I would get from my mother. Sometimes when I'm having a really, really hard time, I do feel I get that comfort in other ways. Yeah, like, it's wild. Like, but you know, it's just I think that's life.
I think that's like how I am with my grandmother. Now, my grandmother passed away. I think I was like maybe like 11. I was still young though, but like there be time, like, I know people could say it's God, people could say it's a angel, people could say whatever one, but I just know, like, if I do good things to good people, good things I always end up the favorite in a situation. So
that's why I was gonna be a good person.
Yeah,
at least try. Yeah, but sometimes I don't want to be the bigger person. God only made me 5'2", so I can only be so big. But
see, like, he also gave you the ability to walk away, though. So, like, that's why I just walk away from a lot of situations before. Because there's a lot. I used to be the guy who hit the nuclear button all the time because I had the ability to. Like, people are very.
I never did that. Well, really? I never did that on purpose. I've never been that type of person.
Well, no. I wouldn't do it consciously. It would be like a.
That's why your daddy bald and your mama fat.
See, that wouldn't bother me. Like,
that's the type of thing that like you would say to people.
No. Because just like I think I came up with this quote yesterday, right? You know what I'm saying? I was at a party. Yeah. Yesterday. I was at a party. Everybody was, you know what I'm saying, partying. I was like sober in the corner. I was thinking like, So, like, I have friendships because I'm watching people interact with each other. I could see like the genuine friendships, like the I love yous and the I'm gonna be around you because I feel like I see all of that, right? And I start thinking about the people who are around me, and like there are people who are willing to take my piece to like get a piece of me, right? So
that's wild. Those are your friends?
No, they're not my friends.
Oh, I'm about to say.
Where I am now, especially in like doing content creation, I'm approached by a lot of people like, hey, bro, let me get on the, you know what I'm saying? And these people will also bring negative.
That's wild.
Their negative vibes to me, right? Because they want a little of what I have and they're willing to let. I'm a person like, if I have problems, I'm not letting those problems fall on nobody else. Like, I could be going through, like, I remember there was a podcast where I got a text message during the podcast, and it was like at the beginning of the podcast that somebody passed away, right? And what I was going to have to do in the course of that time to mend that situation. If you watch that podcast, you would never know. Because I'm not going to like, yo, I just got a text message, blah, blah, blah. That's not who I am. I don't let my demons fall on other people.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I was talking about like my personal life and the things that's currently happening in my personal life. I don't let those things be known because you also got to think when it comes to things like that, like, especially when it comes like, you know, going back to dating. When it goes back to dating, not everyone. The thing is that they're dating someone who does YouTube. They are not a YouTuber.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could ever like fault them for that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're dating someone who does YouTube. So I can't let my life on YouTube fall into your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like say like we're dating and it's just like, oh, it's always like, oh, look what we're doing. Look what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think that comes kind of like with I don't think that's a demon though. That's not like a negative thing.
I mean, it could be a negative thing because I'm not being negative.
Yeah.
Our interactions are genuine, but there's people who on the internet
who
would demonize our relationship.
True.
So I don't want those things to
trying to protect them.
You know what I'm saying? So like say for example, like you said, you got something like a really hard text message during a filming, and you just didn't stop. You continue. That's something that is, you know, that is strong. But I would hope that after you finish filming, that you dealt with those emotions accordingly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like that's why I like even with my breakup, my friends didn't know till like 3-4 months later, and they asked me why I didn't tell them. I said, look, because the emotions that I had because of this, I wanted to make sure they were mine and not yours. Because if I come through you and talk to you like, yo, there's gonna be people like, yo, I think y'all should work it out. But then
like, no, we shouldn't. We broke up for a reason.
Well, yeah, but like.
Because it's a relationship that you decided, something that you decided as a team of people.
Yeah, but then I am real protective of people. There's things when people tell me things, I keep those things secret. I think that's why a lot of people respect me. That's why a lot of people gravitate towards me because they know they can't tell their friend telling their business.
That's true.
So, I don't want to happen is me having a conversation with my friend to say, yeah, we broke up. Well, bro, y'all should work it out. That's for me to validate my thought process, I'm going to have to regurgitate information about my relationship that was between us. I don't want to do that. So I need to process this and I went through, like, we still went on vacations. We still went on, what did we do we went somewhere for the 4th of July. We did something for I didn't tell them to almost like Halloween, and it happened in June. So like, I know how to function. I'm a person who sits with my emotions. Like that's why I have to be careful of who I bring around me. Cause that's how my depression could become crippling to myself. Because if you do something, I'm gonna have to move everybody away or keep everybody at a distance of how I'm actually feeling and then find space to deal with those things. Yeah. So
you just kind of like disappear, I guess what people like to say.
No, I'll be right there. But I'm just not, there's going to be you couldn't tell. Like when people talk about like, I wear a mask, blah, blah, blah. I literally can be in a room, kiki laughing, but in my mind, going through because this isn't for y'all, right?
This is for me.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to therapy?
No, I haven't. But see, a lot of people, I'm a student of education, right? I love learning. And a lot of things that they teach therapists, that therapists use to try to teach other people, I feel like I've learned those things.
But I mean, it's also just not the techniques that they're using.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to therapy, I'm a nerd when it comes to certain things, and therapy is one of those things. So I won't say therapy, but human development is one of my things, and I believe that to treat people like people. No matter what the situation is, you need to treat that person like a person.
Yeah,
you need to talk to that person like they're a person, and that's really considered an ideology from personal center therapy. So it's just I feel like that people are experts in their own lives. Yeah. And that sometimes they just need a little bit of guidance. Yeah. You know, I personally, not because I am going to be a therapist, but I think therapy is necessary for people. Yeah. Especially when it comes to processing, just processing things, not just it can't all have to be bad things, just processing information. It makes it easier when you can talk it out, go back and forth with your thoughts out loud in a non-judgment area, because it doesn't matter. I love to believe that my friends are non-judgmental, right?
Yeah, but they're not.
But I'm not saying they're not, but they're not fully
trained to be that way.
Yeah, they're not fully trained to be
A therapist for somebody.
like not just a therapist, but not fully trained to be like non-judgment. Like they like my therapist person versus my friend person is like two totally different people. Like I'm still a person where I don't judge anybody. Like you can come to me, you can say that, oh, you know, I just got a train ran on me, but I'm gonna go to my husband tonight. Okay, cool. Just make sure you go get tested. That's all.
Yeah.
But you know, just make sure you're safety. And just continue with the conversation. Not like, oh, you shouldn't have did that. Because that is none of my business, honey.
Exactly.
That's the way I live. That is none of my business. All right.
Yeah.
As long as it's not affecting your safety, your healthy, or anything that's to do with me, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I believe that like being non-judgmental is important, non-biased. But those aren't your friends. Your friends aren't those people.
See, I think I've been able to like develop a way of doing that, like being non-judgmental with my friend. And this is how a lot of my friendships blow up, right? Is because they feel I was non-judgmental, you know what I'm saying? And when I get around people, it's something about when somebody knows your secrets and you have lied to people that you're around, and that person comes around. I think that's why some of my friends might need therapy, or some of the people who I used to be friends with need therapy, and not a friend like me, right?
Everyone needs therapy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Everybody can utilize therapy for sure.
Yeah, it's very beneficial.
But what would happen is they will. First of all, when they talk to me, I could tell you're lying to yourself, but I'm not judging you. Like, if whatever you choose to do in life, just live by the things that you choose to do. You know what I'm saying? Take your precautions. But when they lie to themselves, they end up lying to everybody else. So when you bring me into the room, I know who you really are.
Yeah.
And then the people that you've been lying to, you're like, and then what will happen is people will have conversations with us and we will have differing opinions.
Yeah.
Now, and they would take that as me saying they're wrong for the things that they told me. That's not the case. I'm just telling people my viewpoint on this thing that we're talking about. It had nothing to do with but since you have, so I think that's why a therapist is beneficial and not putting that on your friends. Because it was one time I had a friend who wanted to do content creation. I don't know what he does now. I don't like I said, once you're gone, you're done. But he was doing content creation, but then he had an opportunity to get a job, which I could tell he's more of a like a I want attention person, but he also knows he can get attention through money, right? So there became a catch-22. Do I pave this lane of being independent or do I go get money? Right? So we had that conversation. I'm like, bro, do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. So then it came to a point, and this is why I like that people respect me, because people give me information that I wouldn't have been privy to unless they had this type of level of respect for me. So that person is calling somebody else, but I'm in the room and they're on FaceTime. And he doesn't think there's nothing wrong because you told everybody we're still cool. You know what's going on. But so he's under the impression that we're cool. So they're on the phone and he's like, yeah, man, some people think you can't have a job. That shit's stupid. He was talking about me, right? When he's on the phone, I'm sitting here listening. I'm like, this is what you really, that's crazy. And it got to the point where the person who called, he was like, yeah, well, I'm sitting here with Keith right now and listen. It gets deeper. He's sitting on the phone. He's like, yeah, I'm with Keith right now. He's like, he's telling me how I should utilize my job to do the things that I want to do in life. And he says, Keith said that? In his head, he couldn't fathom that the things that I want to do in life, I don't think what I want to do is for everybody. I treat people where they're at, right? So if you're a person who wants to work 9 to 5, get off, go to your family, go to sleep, wake up Monday through Friday, go home.
Let that be you.
That's fine. Look, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to tell you the best way to navigate your plan to do that. Mm-hmm. There's people who want to become entrepreneurs. There's some people who just want to have a side hustle that makes enough money for them to play with. Like, whatever you tell me you want to do, I'm going to help you get there. And that person, that him believing, I think it ate away. like Adam over the course of time when people would come into rooms like, yeah, I quit my job. And then he's having conversations like, man, I got to find a new job. Like, I think those conversations, and I didn't judge him for it, but he thought I did. Right.
Yeah.
So
it's people's perception is really like my reality and your reality. Even though we're sitting here together at the same time, our perception of this if we tell it to someone else,
it could be totally
completely different. And the people who are watching, people who are listening, their perception of what is going on is going to be completely different than mine or yours.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's part of the human existence. You know, we are, gifted with the idea of perception, right? So everyone's idea is going to be different. Everyone's idea is how it's going to happen is going to be different. Whether they're watching it on YouTube, whether they're listening to any streaming services, or whether like there's people who's coming in and out, they're going to see it and think like, oh, like, this, that, and the third, probably thinking they know the person that you are, or people who think they know the person that I am, like, oh, well, this, that, and the third. So that's where a lot of things happen, but it's also important that people communicate. Yeah. Like communication and comprehension is one of the biggest skills in any relationship, whether it be friendship, whether that be romantic relationship, whether it be coworkers. Yeah. Whether it be anything, like, because people always like say communication, but
you got to comprehend.
You got to comprehend. So he had an issue with comprehending what you were saying to him.
Yeah.
This is usually an issue when it comes with a lot of like, relationships in general, because I can remember a friend of mine, she listened, but there was no comprehension skills. Yeah. We're not friends to this day, but there was an issue, there's an issue with that. And it's just kind of like, it happens, unfortunately, but I feel like that's something that could be grown. Yeah. Something that can grow. Like I get mad at stuff, right? But I forget. Yeah. Right? I don't. Or it's not the fact that I forget. It's not worth staying mad over. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So people are like dead to me. Like, I don't believe in people being dead to me because unfortunately you're still alive. Bro, look, there's some people, as soon as I can talk to you no more.
Listen, there's some people that once I can get you out of my facility, you're dead. Once I remember I worked at the movie theater with this girl, and we had a major falling out. I could still go to work for sure. I'm not talking while I'm there. You're dead to me, right? Like when the only time I need to talk to you is when I need to talk to you. So at the end of the night, one person cleaned the warmer, one person cleaned the butter machine. She was one who could. I'm gonna let you pick because I'm just trying to get through this. So if you prefer to clean the butter machine, and I know that, I'm not even gonna ask you. I'm gonna just start cleaning the warmer. I'm gonna be, and you're dead. I'm never talking to you. I'm never bringing you up. There's nothing for us to talk about. Yeah. And the reason I do that, going back to how this conversation started, is because I used to be a person who would hit that. Once I feel like you're making a concerted effort to try to hurt me. I live in my truth. I don't walk around lying to people, right? And I know you do. So when people find out who you really are, they're going to stop fucking with you. Like, and people, when that hangs in the balance for people, I'll tell people like, bro, hey, yo, people would try to make a spectacle out of me because I wasn't super confrontational with people, right? They would try to make a spectacle when they would try to do these things. So it would be in public. You told your man that you be texting his girl though? All right then. Like, and then because now you want to try to bring things to the light that what you're doing is because you're in your feelings about us disagreeing on something, which is fine. You can have your perspective. I can have mine. I'm not going to violate you. But with me being a good person and you not, if you want things to come to the light, they can. And when they do, you know how people are going to look at you and how people are going to look at me. Yeah. That's why I had one friend who told somebody, he was like, yo, look, if Keith and somebody fall out, it's the other person. Because he's like one of the most solid people that I've known. And that's why I like that like people say like your reputation precedes you or something like that. People defend my name in rooms that I'm not in. And that is the most like the biggest blessing that I've ever had throughout my life. And the only reason I get that is because I'm a good person. Some people look at their blessings as like, dang, I should have the car this person has. I should have. My blessing is that my character is safe in the world with people who know me. And that's it. But I stopped doing that. So I don't do that anymore.
You don't just be like, press the red button. You don't.
Yeah, I'll just move away from you because I have the ability to now. Before we were in school, you know what I'm saying?
So you stopped being a menace, basically.
Yeah. I think I hurt one person that I didn't mean to, but like, and it was at the beginning of like the internet phase, right? So I didn't know it was going to turn into what it turned into. But like, I was cool with you. I wanted nothing bad to happen to you. But because you were in this pickle of you living a life not transparent to the people around you, you had to pick somebody to throw it on, and you threw it on me.
That's a bad choice.
And it was basically, so what happened was she was dating my friend, and I was on the basketball team. And apparently, like, there was some rumor that he was like trying to mess with her. So the two dudes, my two friends, were beefing, blah, blah. And I told her, like, bro, you're going to have to clear that up. And then she brought up my girlfriend at the time. And like, I don't really push the nuclear button about me because I don't care what you say about me. But when you bring up people that I care about, I feel like it's my duty to protect their name like I would want them to protect mine. So then we had like this little rap battle event. I made this line about her. And
you be rapping?
Oh yeah, for sure. Or I used to. But you laugh, but like, that's my way of therapy, right?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to say something to somebody. I don't make music for people to turn up to. If you listen to my music, it's all like introspective.
There's music out here with your name on it? For
sure. I'll let you hear something after. But so I made this line about her, and it was the talk of like the school, like.
And what school did you go to?
I went to Mountain View.
Oh, okay.
So, and then it hit the internet. It hit Twitter, and it had like
anything that hit Twitter back in the day, it was over,
bro.
It was over, bro.
My mentions were, I can only imagine what she went through. Right, that's when I learned the power of like what I decide to say. Right, because I didn't want to hurt her. Like, because I didn't think of her as she wasn't an enemy to me. Right, you were just somebody who tried to hurt me, and I felt like I was levying a equal response to what happened, right? But I think people's words are powerful, right? So what I said and how it carried could have turned into something else for her. That follow her. Like, people still, when I see people from school, they still bring it up. Like, that's the first thing. Like, when people talk about memories from our school, they be like, bro, I remember you had that one line and you said such and such about such and such, right? And I apologize to her, you know what I'm saying?
But like, if it's all over, if it's everywhere, it's kind of hard to like, that's like breaking a plate and looking at the plate like, my bad, I ain't mean to break you. Yeah. Like, it goes back to how you say things. Remember you said that? Yeah. You know,
but see, I learned that at that moment. That's why I took the steps to not be that way anymore.
Yeah, not be a menace.
Yeah, and just remove myself from certain people. Because I used to be like, if I don't address this, it's going to happen again. But like, when you're in high school, you're in close quarters with people. You can't get rid of people, right? But as you become an adult, your world starts to change. Yeah. And once I realized that, I just started, all right, look, if I have a coworker, hopefully I can get promoted or moved to another side of the office. If I have a bad roommate, listen, the lease is going to be up at some time. All right. So I could just keep that until that time comes. But other than that, anybody who I don't want to be around, I won't be around. So, and even if like we have mutual friends and we hang out with each other, you're dead to me. When I walk in there, I'm not talking to you. I'm not dapping you.
Exist.
Bro, I went to my homie's birthday party and one person who is like that to me, I walked in, dapped everybody up at the table and sat down, bro. You're dead to me. Like, because you're not a good person. You already showed me the harm you're willing to levy against me as a person. There's no negotiation. There's no talking.
So do you have siblings?
Yeah. I got a older brother, older sister, and a younger brother.
So, like, does that count for, like, family members, too?
What you mean? Oh, yeah, for sure. I got family members that I see all the time dead to me. Like, and to keep things cordial with the family, if we're all there, I'll have conversation, right? Because I'm not going to turn the world against you, right? And sometimes by the way I carry myself, people will turn against the people who I'm around. Some people I don't care, but like for my family, I don't want that that's too close to home for me to like just every time you talk, I'll just look at you, one word response and keep moving. That's going to drive a rift in our family. But in my friend groups, like if there's somebody in the friend group that's dead to me, I'm not talking to them. And eventually like, oh, y'all doing that? All right, bet I'm gonna go do this. And eventually people will gravitate towards where I'm going. And then they find themselves.
So do you have like a large friend group?
I have a large associate group. I would say like friends.
How many friends do you have? Like that you have accessible to you. I mean, you grew up here, so. Yeah.
I think I consider like two people like my brother, right? So Broadband is like my brother and Sniper Jones is like my brother. Then I have like a lot of friends. Like a lot of I would put them a tier above friend. Like
there's tiers now.
Yeah. Like there's a tier above friend. There's people who I consider friends, but we just don't see each other all the time. I would say I have like about like I have a lot of people I have respect for. I don't know if we're friends, but I know like when we see each other it's love.
Yeah.
So I can't say like how many friends I have, but then my associate group is just I have so many. I could walk into any room and handshake with, oh, bro, I remember. Because I have no bad blood with people. Like, nobody has except her. You know what I'm saying? That's why I probably. Yeah. Besides them who did that, there's nobody who is like, man, I hate that nigga. Blah, blah, blah. There's nobody out there that does that.
Yeah. I mean, I could get that. I mean, I moved here like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So, like, my very first friend was DJ.
Yeah.
Very first friend. My very second friend was Mike.
Yeah.
So. I mean, there's people that I knew that kind of like stayed here, but we weren't really like friends. But like, I have other friends that I knew from like, you know, whenever. But I wouldn't say that I have like a large group of friends because I am just
new here.
Not just here in general, but like just overall.
Yeah.
I don't have a large group of friends, because I just suck at meeting people because, you know, social anxiety.
Yeah.
And it's also just like the type of person that I am, the type of friend that I am, like there's not a lot of people that could, even some of my friends now aren't the same friend that I am to them.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like I'm a very compassionate, you know, loving person. Like I'm really pretty chill for the most part. So it's just kind of like the type of person I am, I know that there's not many people that can reciprocate that.
Yeah.
Can I be a menace?
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. God made me 5'2", but full of fury. So, you know.
Yeah.
So I could be, but you know, but overall, most of the time I'm a sweetheart, and it's just like, and caring, and it's just like you have friends who care about you, but they don't care about you the way you care about them.
Yeah.
Not in like no like weird nothing, but it's just like, if I was on my last $20 and you need $5,
yeah,
I would give it to you.
Yeah.
If I'm on my last 20, you need 20, and can you take 10?
Yeah.
Because I can't be left with nothing. It's all about pouring your cup. Like I'm always like, I'm a very positive person for the most part. I'm insightful. It's just kind of like I don't ever see a cup as like half empty.
Yeah.
It's half full.
Mm-hmm.
Why be negative about it?
Yeah.
Because negativity is not going to do nothing but make it worse. Any energy that you put out is energy you're going to get in.
It's full. So, it's half full of water and half full of air. So
it's 100%
full. Yeah.
So you know. So depending on what you're looking for, either way, it's full of something.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like, and that's the same thing when I come into like relationships. Like I'm still a very positive person. I'm very like open person until you do some like head ass shit, and I'm just kind of like, go to hell.
Yeah, facts. I don't know. I think like with relationships, I mean, there's people, like I said, I'm not like a like try to go date somebody type person, but there's people I'm around who I'm like, all right, you might make a good girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? I'll bring you into my circle a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And we'll see where it goes from there. But also the other thing that you mentioned earlier about perspective, right? Or perception and stuff. My thing is like, I never want to misjudge somebody's like my relationship scarred me.
One day, some days you will. Some days you will misjudge our perception of what's going on.
I would never over perceive my place in people's life, right? Because I think my first relationship, it was I told myself I wouldn't do it, right? Then I got into another relationship. So like you said, you are to somebody like what, but they're not the same to you, right?
Yeah.
Like with the giving that I did in my relationships, I didn't receive. And people on the outside, they seen it. I wish I would have had people tell me, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you need to, but I didn't.
I feel like that sometimes, it goes back to the idea of when I say like sometimes relationships are 20-80 or 40, whatever math that counts up to.
Yeah.
40-60.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a point sometimes when you're in a relationship, and if you're continuously, if you're giving 80% and that person's continuously giving you 20%, that's going to drain your 80%.
That's what.
Right.
If you watch my other, I literally said that verbatim. I said it came to a point where I was this wonderful boyfriend, and like what I was getting back made me not want to be the wonderful boyfriend, which deteriorated their thoughts of me, which deteriorated our relationship.
Because people only see you in one way, and when you are not that way anymore, it's a problem, because now they're used to seeing you at 80%.
Yeah.
Right? They're used to seeing you at 80%. But now, since you're continuing to be, drained by this person, you're now no longer 80%. You're more like 60. Yeah. And then you get 50, 40. And then now y'all both at 20%. Nothing can thrive
at 20%.
At 20%. Because now at some point, now y'all equal 30% because she's 20 and you 10.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not saying that this is what happened in your relationship. I'm just saying like this is what happens with people in general. You can't continue to pour into a cup when they're not pouring back into you, because if you continue to pour out of your pitcher, keep pouring and pouring out your pitcher is going to get empty.
Yep.
And their cup is going to be overflowing with whatever it is that you have to offer.
That's why they lived their best life right after we broke up, because my cup's full. I felt like I had to, all my friends' terrible boyfriend experiences, I got this perfect past couple years. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to get out here, and then you go outside and realize what the world really is.
Dating's awful outside.
Yeah.
Like someone literally pissed in this water, and I'm not talking about like I'm talking about piss where they ain't drink water in days. Yeah. That shit's hot orange piss.
Yeah. And
they just get back like, oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, fuck you now.
Yeah. And I'm like, bro, like, you, like, the thing that I would say, like, I think I said this the thing that hurt the most, I think, is like, you gave up, bro. I would have never gave up on you. Like, and I didn't. I like both of my relationships. I feel like played to a point where they couldn't. They probably could have. There's something they could have did, right? Yeah. But like I developed quicker than them. I developed quicker than them, so I was able to do things they couldn't. Now, there's other things they probably could have did, but they were moving towards it, and I knew it, because I would tell myself, like, bro, as soon as they get the ability to reciprocate, they're gonna break off, and both did that. Like, so that's why I'm very cautious of like who I bring around me. Now they're both like, we're friends, like we're cool. You know what I'm saying? It's no malice, but as a relationship, we're just not like
not working.
Yeah, we're not like. And my mom, I was telling my mom, I was like, because you bring people around your mom for so long. She's like, dang, I keep meeting these people. They become a part of our life, and we don't. They go away.
That's why you'll never tell your mama.
No, I would. Like, if I felt strongly about somebody, I would for sure.
Just be like.
But I don't think I'll ever have like a casual relationship where like you're dating, I'm dating, and you're dating other people.
Casual person.
Yeah, I'm not a casual person. I'm a very serious person. Like we can casually.
Mine.
You said what?
You you're mine. I'm yours. That's it.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna place my emotions somewhere where I don't think they're safe. And if you don't know this is where you want to be, then my emotions aren't safe to be placed here. Mm-hmm. And there's no problem with that. I can still be around you. I think you're a dope person. I'm just not putting my heart in your hands until you say, this is where I want to be. And then I'll tend to, I'm going to still treat you nicely throughout that. Like, hey, you want to go to Six Flags? Hey, you want to go to this hookah lounge? Hey, you want to, like, I'm going to be nice, open the door, everything. But just know my heart is still in my hands.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Talking about what time is it? I haven't eaten all day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 4 o'clock.
All right, look, you know what I'm saying? We got a taco spot around the corner, so I'll go get some
around here.
Some tacos.
I don't know about over here.
This is like, this is like the headquarters for like the Hispanic community. Is right here. I mean,
also there's a place by my house. It's like, I guess if this is headquarters, it's the,
in Atlanta.
Delegation.
If you.
Well, it's not like in Atlanta.
Okay.
But it's not.
It's not these up here.
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. But look, tell everybody where they can find you before we head up out of here.
You guys can find me on YouTube at LacedBySha or on Instagram at sha.morris or my YouTube LacedBySha. Not YouTube, my other Instagram LacedBySha. Mm-hmm. So
listen, I will link those down below. Make sure y'all go check it out. Tell her to tell some more story times and stop ragging on men.
I don't be ragging on men. I really feel like that people don't be listening closely all the time. I'm giving advice.
With a lot of jokes. You told me to go to hell, all right? You said Geminis go to hell. That's what you said.
Geminis can go to hell. Yeah, because that's what their Uncle Satan is. Our
uncle? Why is Satan our... Hold on, what are you?
I'm a Sagittarius.
What does that mean?
I'm a lovely human being.
But you hate Sagittarius men too, though.
I wouldn't date a Sagittarius man.
Why?
Sagittarius men are very spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a lot of structure. Spontaneous, they're just like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time type of men. Are
you the same way? Because you're Sagittarius, right?
I mean, no, Sagittarius women are a little different in a lot of aspects. Like when it comes to like relationships, like we're a little bit more, we do like to be free. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to be somewhere where we feel like that we can't be ourselves.
Yeah.
Sagittarius men just like having fun.
Yeah.
I like having fun, but I like traveling. I like, doing stuff like that. Like I'll book a spontaneous trip to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to spontaneously fuck a bitch from the club.
Yeah.
There's 2 different levels of spontaneousness.
Yeah.
And the Sagittarius man, I like casually date a Sagittarius man, and then like my best friend, he's a Sagittarius man. He is a fucking menace.
Yeah.
Like, don't let you be an attractive Sagittarius man. I don't know what ugly Sagittarius men are out here doing.
Yeah.
But attractive ones, yeah, if you ever meet a Sagittarius man and just be like, yeah, we could be friends.
All right, last question. Top 5 places you've traveled to?
I love Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
I love San Francisco.
Okay.
DC is pretty nice.
I like DC.
I would move to DC if it didn't snow.
Yeah.
So that's 3. I'm trying to think. Anywhere really near water is like a place for me.
Oh, like you're like
New
a
Orleans,
beach person?
I love New Orleans, obviously. Like
home. I've never been to New Orleans.
Baby, you ain't never been to New Orleans?
Nah.
It's amazing.
I've been planning to go. I actually have a timeshare thing I have to use in New Orleans. I just never booked it.
Yeah, New Orleans. I love being at home. I would never like live there anymore. Like I did when I was younger, but I would never do that because I don't want to have to leave for the hurricane every year. But the food, the culture. I like places that have like a lot of culture. I like Texas actually. Like I went to El Paso, Texas, like Mexico area. It's absolutely beautiful. Like it is.
So you do know real tacos, okay? Yeah,
I know real tacos. It's beautiful. Because we drove from El Paso. To South Carolina. So that's a 24-hour drive, by the way.
That's crazy.
Very wild. It took 12 hours to get across Texas. But so I love El Paso just because of the scenery. Like it looks really nice, and it's just like the flat land and how the mountains go straight up. It's just like it's absolutely gorgeous because I'm not a camping girl. Like I don't
like nature.
I like nature, right? I'll go outside and be in nature, but I have allergies.
Me too. Yeah.
So I'm not trying to get clapped by no nature, right? So
Pauline out there whooping your ass.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like I haven't really gone to like stayed in the cabin in the mountains over here, but I have been to the mountains. When I stayed in South Carolina, we were very close to the mountains, so I could drive to the mountains. So I've seen the mountains.
Yeah.
So the mountains here just like it's literally like grass and just go up or whatever.
Yeah.
But in like West Texas, the mountains literally look like they just appeared out the ground. They just shot up out the ground. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like you're driving down a highway, it's flat for like miles and miles. Like you can literally see
the mountains
like hundreds of miles probably. Damn. If you got glasses, you could see like it's literally so flat. You could just see. Straight so that is just like straight across in the mountains. Like when you drive through because there's like a part where we had to drive through and there was like mountains on both sides. They literally just shot up. Yeah. It just, I don't know. If you've seen like those type of mountains before, it's absolutely wild. Like that's the same thing like Arizona and stuff like that. Yeah. It's the same type of mountains. It's just like the desert. I just want to go back to a desert and just kind of like want to go to Joshua Tree and just kind of like just hang out.
I heard of that. Where's that?
It's right outside LA. Okay. It's a couple hours outside LA. So I want to go to Joshua Tree. I'll probably end up doing that this fall, like late in this fall. I was supposed to go last fall, but I had lost my license, and now it's too hot to go. Yeah. Because
how'd you lose your license?
I lost my whole wallet, actually.
Oh, lost it. Okay.
Yeah, I lost my whole wallet.
Thought you was out here speeding or something.
I'm a great driver.
That don't mean you don't speed.
I'm a law-abiding citizen. I follow speed limits.
It's cap. All right. Have you been to Vegas?
No, I never went to Vegas because there's nothing really. I don't really.
You said that because you never been there.
There's no water there.
Yeah, there is. So, they got built-in beaches inside them hotels.
I want an actual beach.
You can't tell the difference.
I'm pretty sure I can.
Probably.
I don't. That's why I wouldn't really care for Vegas because I don't like places that a lot of people go. Like I don't like overpopulate. Like I'm going to Miami next week for the very first time. Because I don't like going places that are overpopulated. I just went because the tickets are like hella cheap.
Why did you pick a spring break to go?
Because I'm on spring break with work. But yeah, so
who you going with?
Nobody. Why you? I'm literally going by myself.
All right, listen, y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. You know what I'm saying? Look, the podcast will be on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, all that great stuff. You know what I'm saying? We have public reviews coming up. I think the next one will be next Tuesday. Well, of course, it's going to be on Tuesday. We're going to ask people how they feel about condom sex, all right? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be wearing my professional Raw Dogger hoodie, and we're going to hit the streets of Atlanta and see. If y'all have any other questions that y'all think we should ask on the public interviews, y'all let me know. And we're going to get an update from you about your Miami trip. Until the next time we see y'all, peace.